It's game 3 between the Chatham Anglers and the Cotuit Kettleers. This is the Kettleers starting 9. He's Joe Pratt. I'm Alex Rocco. And Joe, yesterday another crazy comeback victory for the Kettleers, and it involved Tanner Thatch once again.
Yeah, it was. It was the third comeback victory for the Ketts in the last 10 days, but as you mentioned it, Tanner Thatch coming up to the plate after the Kettleers blew the save in the top of the 8th inning. Darkness was setting in at Lowell Park, so we really didn't know how much baseball we were going to have to be played left, but Tanner Thatch unloading for his 8th home run of the season into the deep right center field alleyway here at Lowell Park to overtake the Firebirds and win it 6-5.
We obviously talk about the heroics of Tanner Thatch, but two guys, Nathan Hall, Brandon Compton, hitting in the middle of yesterday's lineup and really paying dividends.
Yeah, both of those guys with multi-hit games in the heart of the lineup. You're really going to want those guys clicking because this is a lineup where when you look back at the past couple games against Chatham, they've really struggled to back guys around the bases. I mean, they put guys on base, they've piled on the hits, but they just haven't been able to do much with runners in scoring position, and that was really the issue that you saw in the first half of that game yesterday until the late inning heroics from Tanner Thatch. But yeah, they're going to look to definitely be wanting more of that consistency from 1 through 9 in the order.
And on the flip side for the Kettleers pitching staff, Gabriel Nard, he got the start, gave up 2 runs in the first inning, but really settled in nicely.
Yeah, he did. He walked a couple of guys in that first inning, hit a guy, and they were able to bring home a couple runs on a sacrifice fly, on a bases-loaded walk, and then they were no-hit through the next 6 innings. So that's exactly what the Kettleers are going to want to do today. I mean, 11 total runs between both of these two squads in the first 2 games they played, 6 of which came in the first inning. So scoring first and being able to hold off the bats for the rest of the game going to be super important.
And what does it say about this Kettleer team that they can give up 2 runs in the top of the 8th but respond right back and pick up the 6-5 win?
Yeah, it just shows resilience. I mean, I think that's a word that you brought up after a game a couple of days ago where they're just able to continue to keep the bats moving late into games, and it doesn't matter if there's a couple outs left, doesn't matter if the sun's already set, the bats are still able to stay hot, and that's obviously something that you want to do against an Anglers team that you've allowed 5 runs to after the 7th inning against in 2 games.
We'll see if the bats keep on going for the Kettleers, but now we'll send it to Adele Huffman, who stands alongside with Jimmy Middleton.
Hey, Cotuit family, my name's Adele Huffman, joined alongside Jimmy Middleton, who does field work here for Cotuit. Jimmy, what do you think the key to last night's win was?
I think the key to last night's game was just kind of not giving up on the offense. You know, we went down late in the game, pretty sure it was the 8th inning, and then we come back, respond immediately in the 8th. So I think just not having the offense, not give up, stay in the fight, that was probably the biggest key to the game for last night's game to me.
And Jimmy, going into the back half of the season, what do the guys need to do in order to keep the momentum up?
I think it's just realizing that if you win the Cape Cod League Championship, you're etched in history forever. So just having that on the back of the mind or front of the mind, whatever you want to do, and just knowing that if you win the Cape Cod League Championship, you're in the history book. So that's that.
And Jimmy, who stands out to you? What are your all-star selections for this season?
Okay, I can't nominate myself, so I'm going to go with Mikey Ebner. Having a great season out of the bullpen. Jared Advincula, great season at second base. And then I'm going to go with Matt Klein. Matt Klein is my 3rd All-Star selection for us.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Jimmy, and we'll send it back to you, Joe and Alex.
Welcome back into the Kettleers starting 9, and Joe, Chatham, Cotuit scoring off for the 3rd time today. Should be another really good pitching matchup.
Yeah, it absolutely should be. Chance Cox has already got an appearance against the Kettleers this season. Only pitched 1 inning, did give up 1 hit, but he closed out that game that they lost at Veterans Field a few weeks ago, 4-2 on July 6th, I believe it was. But the Kettleers losing that game, and they were silenced offensively throughout the middle of that game, so definitely going to want to keep the bats going throughout in tonight's matchup.
And what is your key to the game?
A key to tonight's game, scoring first. I mean, we were just talking about it. The offense in these 2 games, or in the first 2 times that these 2 teams played, offense is putting up 6 total runs out of the 11 runs total scored in this season series so far. So getting ahead early and keeping the Anglers off the board in the first inning is something that they're definitely going to want to do because they have 2 home runs in this series, both of which coming in that first inning, and that's just not the way you want to start off ball games.
My key for today's game is continuing to put pressure on the defense. We saw it play a major factor at last night's game. Jaron Advincula just hitting a ball on the ground, reaching on an error, and then, of course, Tanner Thatch hits the go-ahead 2-run home run. But that'll do it here on the Kettleers starting 9. Let's send it back up to the broadcast booth.
It's another great day for baseball here at Lowell Park as we welcome you in for Game 27 of the CCBL season. The Anglers will do battle with the Kettleers in just a few moments here on the Kettleers Digital Network. Hi, everybody, and welcome back in. This is Game 27 between the Chatham Anglers. They enter this ball game at 15-11-0, second place in the East Division. Cotuit 16-9-1, second place in the West Division. And Alex, these are two teams that are really playing some strong baseball. Definitely the Chatham Anglers on their side, but what excites you about this matchup?
You mentioned Chatham playing great baseball. They've currently on a 5-game winning streak, and this is a Cotuit team that is also playing really good baseball. They have wins in 3 of their last 4. The one game they didn't win, they picked up the 8-8 tie against YD. So these are two teams really clicking at the right moment. So today should be another good game between the Kettleers and the Anglers.
And the Kettleers last night getting a big win, 6-5 against the Orleans Firebirds. How big is it going to be to get some late inning offense in a game like tonight against the Anglers?
Well, it's massive, and this is something that we've seen for the Kettleers over really the month of July, coming back and winning big-time ball games. They fell behind in the game against Bourne. They fell behind in the game against Wareham. Fell behind last night in the win against Orleans, and just having that trust in your offense that even if the bullpen isn't always on their games, they give up they gave up 3 runs, 1 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and then Tanner Thatch, of course, answers right back with a 2-run go-ahead shot. But it also talks about the resilience of this team and never wanting to fall behind. And even when they do, they have that trust that they know that they'll pull away with the victory.
Well, they've fallen behind in the first game against the Anglers this season, and then was able to take control the second time these two teams squared off. But then in the bottom of the first inning, Chatham exploding for 3 runs of their own the last time these two teams played, and 6 of the 11 runs in this season series so far coming in the first inning of the ball game against these, or with these two squads playing against each other. But let's go ahead and take a look at those starting lineups today. Starting off with the Anglers, Alex, how will they face off against the right-hander Aiden Hunter?
Well, leading things off for Chatham is the center fielder Ty Johnson. Batting second and getting the nod in right field is Ashton Larson. Batting third and playing first, Robin Villeneuve. Batting cleanup and starting at the hot corner is Chayton Krause. Batting fifth and is the designated hitter, Bryce Roddy. Batting sixth and playing second is Jaden Davis. At shortstop and hitting seventh, Kyle Odise. Hitting eighth in left, Will Bermudez. And rounding out the Angler order is the catcher, Campbell Smithwick.
And they'll be going up against Aiden Hunter, who's making his 3rd start this summer for the Kettleers. So far fashioning a 3.86 ERA, has allowed 3 earned runs in 7 innings pitched. Most recently, he pitched against Harwich back on July 12th, going 3 2/3 innings. Did give up 6 hits, 2 earned runs. Didn't walk anybody, but struck out 4. And that was a game where he was able to get a lot of run support as the Kettleers exploded offensively, went on to win that game 16-8, but they'll hopefully be able to back their right-hander on the mound once again, who's out of the College of Charleston, has improved every year that he's been in college, but mainly what have you liked from him in his first few appearances, Alex?
Well, for Aiden Hunter, he's been more of a guy that, especially in his time at the College of Charleston, a guy who likes to pitch to contact, just 56 strikeouts and 76 2/3 innings pitched this past year at Charleston, but overall this summer he's doing a nice job pitching to contact, 7 innings. He's only allowed 3 runs, but really the home runs have come back to bite him. 2 home runs that he's allowed. But when Aiden Hunter is at his best, he's getting ahead of hitters, locating with the fastball and mixing in that breaking ball to get weak contact and preferably on the ground.
And that's pretty much what we saw his last time out against Harwich. Was really strong through the first inning there against the Mariners, but ran into a little trouble. But it wasn't the walks, it was just hits. He gave up 6 of those in 3 2/3 innings pitched. But he's ready to go against Ty Johnson, the left-handed swinger out of Baylor. Digs in the first pitch. It misses upstairs, and ahead in the count goes Ty Johnson as we start off this ball game at 5:01 p.m. local time. This being the second of 3 straight home games for the Kettleers at Lowell Park. The 1-0 pitch from Hunter. Johnson gets underneath it and sends it to straightaway center field. Nathan Hall will flag it down. Back into the alleyway he goes for the first out. So you just saw Nathan Hall playing straightaway in center. Also on the outfield, Devin Taylor plays in right. Brandon Compton, the everyday man, in left. Infielders from left to right, Timo Becerra, Tyler Cerny at shortstop, Jaron Advincula, the second baseman, and Tanner Thatch at first base. Grant Jay will be doing the catching today for Aiden Hunter. He gets his 2nd straight start behind the dish. So now Aiden Hunter will face the next batter in Ashton Larson, another lefty who takes ball 1. In the first 2 times these two teams played, 11 hits for the Anglers across both of those 2 games. Kettleers pitching doing a nice job of keeping the hit total low for the Anglers, but they have worked plenty of walks, got a lot of guys on base, and some extra base hits, especially early on in the ball game, is something that Chatham has done very well. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Larson. 3-0, he takes the advantage. So these are 2 teams that have played a 4-1 contest and then a 4-2 contest. The home team winning both of those games, as Larson will get underneath this one and send the count to 3-2, or excuse me, 3-1. But Hunter facing Larson for the first time. Just finished up another season at Louisiana State. Was a freshman there playing in 53 games as he takes upstairs here and is headed to first with a walk. So a 5-pitch walk worked there by Ashton Larson. That's the first base runner of the game for the Anglers. It'll be his 7th of the summer.
Hunter was attacking Larson up in the zone and well outside there, and Larson, such a disciplined hitter, will take the 5-pitch walk.
They'll check back at Larson at first. And he's in there with a slide. 8 stolen bases so far this season for Ashton Larson. Has been caught 3 times. As now the new batter, Robin Villeneuve. They'll look back at first again. Villeneuve out of Tennessee, announcing his transfer destination to, or excuse me, out of Tennessee, but announcing his transfer destination to Texas Tech after spending 2 years at the JUCO level. So we'll be spending his senior year with the Red Raiders as he takes ball 1 and takes control. An 89-mile-an-hour fastball there from Aiden Hunter. He throws the fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup. Villeneuve takes a strike. It's 1-1. Villeneuve, a recent add to this Chatham lineup. This is 3rd game played so far, 3 for 8 in a small sample size. That's good for a 375 average. One of those leaving the ballpark, the other one going for extra bases. So Aiden Hunter paying a lot of attention to Ashton Larson, who's on first base, as he'll slide step home. 1-1 pitch is cracked on the ground towards Cerny. Taps the bag and throws to first himself to complete the top of the first inning. So it's a 6-3 double play to end the first frame. Anglers putting 1 man on base, but they are unable to bring him around to score. 0-0 your score, as the Kettleers will have their first looks on Chance Cox when we return here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Bottom of the first inning, the Kettleers bats will have their first looks on Chance Cox, who gets his 2nd appearance against the Pinstripes this summer. And how will the Kettleers line up against the lefty, Alex?
Tanner Thatch will lead things off with a 2nd consecutive game, and well, it worked so well yesterday. Mike Roberts deciding to do it again. Nathan Hall back in the lineup for a second consecutive day. He bats second and gets to start in center field. Brandon Compton moving up in the order. He will bat third, starting in left field. Tyler Cerny got the day off yesterday. He returns to Cotuit's lineup. He bats fourth, playing shortstop. Hitting fifth and is the designated hitter today. It's Easton Winfield. Batting sixth and playing third is Timo Becerra. Devin Taylor comes back into the lineup. He will bat seventh and play right field. Catching for a second consecutive day is Grant Jay. He bats eighth, and rounding out this Kettleer lineup is the second baseman, Jaron Advincula.
So they'll be going up against Chance Cox, who pitched one inning, gave up one hit, struck out a batter in his lone inning appearance against the Kettleers earlier this month, where the Anglers were able to hold on to a 4-2 win. And as mentioned last inning, a 4-1 win for the Kettleers and then a 4-2 win in this season series, as it's 11 total runs in this series combined between both of these squads, 6 of which have been scored in that first frame. The other 5 runs were scored after the 7th inning. So these offenses really falling silent in the middle of the ball game or in the early stages after that first inning. But a good start for Aiden Hunter and the Kets on the mound as Tanner Thatch digs in. Thatch entering this ball game riding a 7-game extra base hitting streak. 2-run blast the other night, or excuse me, that was last night against Orleans, propelling the Kettleers to that 6-5 win. Came up in the bottom of the 8th inning, and you could honestly call it the bottom of the 9th at that time. With the way that the skies were darkening, we probably would not have been able to get a bottom of the 9th inning in. But Tanner Thatch hitting the go-ahead home run and the game-winning home run as the Kettleers were able to close it out in the top of that 9th inning. So now he falls back in the count 1-2. Last 7 games for Tanner Thatch, 12 for 26 with 3 doubles, 4 homers, and has driven in 8 batters. Just tearing the cover off the ball, and now the 1-2 pitch. Takes down low, 2-2. Thatch takes up and inside, and he'll be headed to first with a walk. 5 pitches, and the Kettleers have their first base runner of this ball game. Tanner Thatch working another walk on the season. That'll be his 13th to 17 strikeouts, and a guy who, you know, despite all of the home runs, all the power hitting that he's able to do, still so super important for him to be able to get on base at a high clip the way he does.
Thatch just so disciplined at the plate, and that makes him so hard to face because he's not a guy that likes to expand his zone, doesn't chase that often, and makes pitchers come to him.
Nathan Hall is the batter now. Tanner Thatch leading off at first base. But yeah, Tanner, I mean, a guy who makes really strong contact with the ball, but seemed maybe a little bit more one-dimensional last season playing in 2023, where he hit 260, did hit 13 homers with, or excuse me, 3 homers of his 13 hits as Hall rolls that one foul. But even despite going for 27 home runs, going yard 27 times this past season at UNCW, which was in the top 15 in the NCAA, something was clicking for him offensively at the plate even when he wasn't able to hit home runs, wasn't able to leave the ballpark. Guy who slugged at a 700 clip, hit 324 overall, so still being productive in any way that he can. 0-2 pitch to Nathan Hall is up and away. Hall getting the start in last night's game, going 2 for 2, accepted an intentional walk, walked the regular way, and with 2 singles was able to come around once to score. And you brought it up in the pregame show, just a massive part of the middle of that lineup. They get moved up today. It'll be Thatch, Hall, and Compton. Now he gets underneath this one, ropes it down the left field line, sending Bermudez back, reaching up, and he'll make the grab. Tracking back to the left field corner. Nathan Hall is the first out of this bottom of the first, and Tanner Thatch has to retreat back to first base.
Hall hit that ball well on a line in left field, but Will Bermudez really making a nice grab on the run there, but just another at-bat where Nathan Hall puts a good swing on it, just doesn't get rewarded.
Yeah, really had to stay back on that breaking ball too. Good job to do that, but as you mentioned, it one that was unable to bloop in. So Brandon Compton is now the batter. Also a multi-hit game in last night's contest against the Firebirds. Now he takes a big cut and miss. At the first pitch he sees. Started off that game 2 for 2, then struck out, responded in the 7th with another single. So 2 RBIs and a 3 for 4 day at the plate for Brandon Compton, who just continues to swing a hot bat. That next one finds the dirt. 24 games played this summer for Brandon Compton so far, has 24 hits. And adding on to his strong play after that contest last night, after going 3 for 4, improved on his 4-game hitting streak and is now 10 of his last 15 at the plate with 7 driven in. Gets a piece of that one, and now he's down in the count 1-2. While this offense maybe hasn't been as consistent as Mike Roberts may have liked in the month of July, there have been a couple of guys who have really weathered the storm in that aspect, and one of them is definitely Brandon Compton.
Brandon Compton, Nathan Hall, Easton Winfield, Nolan Naraki. There have been several players that have really stepped up as of late in July.
Compton takes away. It's 2-2. No other team is better in July so far than the Chatham Anglers. They own the best July record of any other ball club. 10-3 so far this month, the longest month of the season, the most important month of the season. Next pitch to Compton. Rolled on the ground towards second. Taylor made for 2. Davis flips to second for 1, relayed by Lodice. And a 4-6-3 double play will end the bottom of the first inning. So just as the Anglers did in the first, Kettleers putting one man on by way of the walk. They're unable to do anything with him once he reaches base. And it's 3 batters faced either side. 0-0 your score still as we move into the top of the second here on the Kettleers Digital Network. Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Bortolotti Construction. Nothing through 1 as we move to the top of the second. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for the Anglers on to face Aiden Hunter. Chayton Kraus, Bryce Roddy, and Jaden Davis will bat. 3 batters faced for Aiden Hunter in the top of that first inning. A fly out of Ty Johnson. He walked Ashton Larson. But then a double play ball that Tyler Cerny was able to field himself and throw to first to end that frame. So it'll be Chayton Kraus, third baseman out of Dallas Baptist. Takes a ball 1 down low. Aiden Hunter working through that first inning relatively unscathed. It's something that the Kettleers definitely want to do against this Chatham team. In both of the games against the Anglers this season, Cotuit pitching has allowed a home run, both of which were in the first inning. As Kraus gets underneath that one and flips it foul. It's now 2-1 to him. Playing in his first game of the season this week. Went 0 for 5. Still looking for that first hit since coming to the Cape League. 3 strikeouts. but a guy who hit .358 this past season for the Patriots with 16 homers. And you can see behind the plate right now, Grant Jay being his teammate at Dallas Baptist, so pretty cool to see that familiarity between these two rosters. Power to deep left center field. That sends Nathan Hall way back. He will watch that one fly deep into the trees over the scoreboard at Lowell Park, and Chayton Krause has gone deep for his first hit of the summer. The Anglers take a 1-0 lead, and that ball got out of the ballpark in a hurry, as Krause jumped all over that pitch from Aiden Hunter, and the Anglers take a 1-0 advantage.
Hunter left that last pitch right over the heart of the plate, and Chayton Krause made no mistake crushing that deep into the left center field gap. And Joe, we were talking about the power and the year that he just had at DBU, hit 16 home runs, and that ball got out of here in a hurry.
Now Roddy rattles one on the ground towards Cerny. His throw bounces past Tanner Thatch towards the first base hole as the runner moves up to second base, and Roddy is in there standing up. So the home run, and now a throwing miscue on the infield for the Kettleers puts a man in scoring position. So just as the Anglers take a lead, they have an opportunity to add to it immediately, as that ball just gets away from Tanner Thatch, but now a conversation between the umpiring crew. That's Glenn Stewart, the home plate umpire today. Jeffrey Kinney mans first base, and Sam Finn on the other side of the infield. And they will rule that the runner will be on second base, so you have to assume they're trying to decide if the ball left the playing surface or somehow got into that Chatham dugout. Nonetheless, they'll put a runner in scoring position.
Not the way that Aiden Hunter wanted to begin this top of the second. Just left the pitch right over the heart of the plate to Chayton Krause. And it's a play by Tyler Cerny that he just had to meet up and didn't have control of that throw.
So Roddy leads at second. Jaden Davis fans and misses at an 86-mile-an-hour slider, it looked like there for Aiden Hunter. Or could have been that fastball. Slider coming in the mid-80s, curveball in the low 80s, changeup a couple ticks below that as the 1-1 pitch. Just barely misses the box outside, so now 2-1. Jaden Davis, this will be his 24th game played for the Anglers this summer. One of the few guys on this roster who has stuck around the whole summer. Coming off of a season at Vanderbilt where he batted 168 times, 53 base knocks. That was good for a .315 average. Now he ropes that one over the head of Cerny. That'll sink in for a hit. Likely scoring the second run of this ball game as Davis charges to second to throw there, not in time. It's a stand-up double for Jaden Davis, and the Anglers take a 2-0 lead.
Davis not trying to do too much, got a pitch that he can hit, and made no mistake hitting that in the left center field gap. And good speed from Roddy over there at second, as Chatham really starting to click offensively with 2 hits so far in this inning, and every guy who's came to hit has reached.
First pitch to Kyle Lodis is in there. That was the curveball right there. Dotting the low and inside part of the plate. This is another guy who's been here for most of the summer for Jeremy Sheetninger's Anglers. This will be his 25th game played. Has 19 hits. Now he takes low and inside. First year as the Chatham manager for the guy they call Sheets. Off to a good start, 15-11-0. We were talking before going live today, Alex, about this is a Chatham team that has really struggled the past couple of years. A lot of coaching turnover, and really just struggled to bring guys out there, but also keep guys out there. And when the team isn't performing well, that can be a really tough task. But seemingly Sheets has figured it out in his first season. But it, of course, wasn't a fantastic start for the Anglers. Pretty modest start, but really on a surge this month in July.
You could see it start to click. They're currently on a 5-game winning streak. The bats have come alive. This is a super talented Chatham Angler lineup with 1 through 9, extremely deep talent in the outfield. So it was only a matter of time for them to start playing really good baseball. And Sheets has them rolling on that Chatham side.
Yeah, 5-game winning streak going into this one. 7-3 in their last 10. And doing a really great job of taking care of business at their home ballpark. 9-4 record, as that one is a called strike 3 to get Kyle Odis looking. Aiden Hunter picks up his first K of the afternoon, and there's one gone in the second.
That was a big first out for Aiden Hunter right there. Kyle Odis thinking it was ball 4, looked at that pitch that clips the zone on the outside corner there. So a good bounce back by Aiden Hunter, who struggled so far in this inning, but still needs to get 2 more outs.
Will Bermudez is the new batter. He's out of UC Irvine, making his first start this summer. He's a guy who hit above 300 this past season for the Anteaters, playing in 58 games for them. 53 of those were starts, so an unbelievable batting average for him. Good enough to be selected to the All Big West second team. Of course, joining former Kettleer Anthony Ianson on that list. 1-0 to Bermudez, misses upstairs. That was his second season for UC Irvine, and really picking things up after struggling his first season, but really took a while to find his place, did Will Bermudez, as now Grant Jay and Aiden Hunter will talk things over. Hunter struggling to find the box right now, but wasn't able to play at UC Davis, redshirted that season, then transferred to Mount San Antonio College, where maybe became more of a bigger fish in a small pond to go on to hit .373 there. First team All South Coast Conference infielder there, and then went on this past season to really make a difference on the UCI roster. So now that mound visit will conclude. Hunter just trying to find a way to hit the box here. This isn't really something that he has struggled with in recent appearances, but the walks is not something you want to do against this Chatham team.
So far, Hunter, 28 pitches, just 12 strikes, and continues to fall behind hitters.
Yeah, behind here 2-0 to Bermudez. And now he gets over the top there, an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. Runner in scoring position, that's Jaden Davis. Batting home Bryce Roddy on an RBI double. Roddy scoring that run. It's a 2-0 ball game, and now Aiden Hunter is one pitch away from allowing another base runner in this frame. Just looking for a ground ball here, though. The 3-1. Spoiled foul into the parking lot. Not too many fans on hand today. Good reason for that is probably because Saturday's game was the originally scheduled date for these two teams to square off, but that one being called due to rain. All of those games except for one from Saturday being postponed to today, as this one's rolled on the ground towards Timo Becerra at third. He throws from deep in the hole to get the second out of this frame. A nice throw there from Becerra to get Bermudez with the second out. So as you just saw right there, Timo Becerra getting another start at third base, has so far played a solid third, but he has really been exchanging some time there with the everyday man Nolan Naraki.
Becerra's added depth to this Kettleer infield, getting the start at third today, has also switched off with Tyler Cerny at shortstop. So Becerra really starting to click offensively. His average climbing up, sits just around that 200 mark, but a guy that also can make a lot of plays defensively.
Guy who puts in some solid ABs at the plate, too. Couple multi-hit games so far for Timo Becerra, and really a guy who seemingly shows up when he has his name written on the lineup card. But those guys, him and Naraki, having to battle through knowing that they're not going to play every single day, but obviously, as we were talking about yesterday, maybe that's something that these guys should be used to, not playing every single day, because that's kind of the setup when they're at college. And it's kind of an adjustment moving up here when they're playing every single day behind the dish, whether it's in the field or like Grant Jay, who gets his second straight start behind the plate. But we've seen Matt Klein play multiple games in a row, and Mike Roberts saying that not a lot of college catchers will do that, getting 2, 3, 4 starts in a row maybe. Grant Jay, back-to-back starts here, and he has been more of the everyday man behind the dish, and we've seen his catching improve a lot.
That it has. He's, over the last few games, really doing a good job behind the dish, keeping balls in front of him and limiting the wild pitchers from this Kettleer pitching staff.
2-2 count to Campbell Smithwick. Popped up into straightaway center field, a lazy fly for Nathan Hall. And he pulls down the third out. So the Kettleers able to escape that top of the second inning, not before Chayton Cross's first home run of the summer, and an RBI double off the bat of Jaden Davis gives the Anglers a 2-0 advantage. Send it to the home half of the second here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor.
Bottom of the second inning, actually, with the Kettleers trailing 2-0. Tyler Cerny will grab a bat and hit against Chance Cox for the first time. Batting 4th in the lineup, and he gets his first start since Monday against Yarmouth Dennis. So it'll be Tyler Cerny, Easton Winfield, and Timo Becerra to bat against the lefty in this inning. First pitch misses up and away, and Tyler Cerny takes control. He's a guy who has struggled at the plate offensively and more of in the box score than it really has been. A guy who makes really solid contact with the ball and continually puts it in play, but just has struggled to find green grass in the outfield and squeeze it through the infield, but was able to get on base his last start, or actually wasn't able to get on base against Yarmouth Dennis, but was in the game before that as he pops this one up down the left field line, and Will Bermudez hauls down out number 1 in this second frame. But talking about a guy who is really settling into this Kettleers starting lineup, Easton Winfield has continued to swing a hot bat.
That he has. He had really broke out, had a 3-for-4 performance, and then yesterday came up with a really big hit early on in that game. He had a double back in the 3rd inning of that contest, and that's when Cotuit put up 3 runs against Orleans in that 3rd. And Easton Winfield, a guy who's been hitting to all fields this year and really has done a nice job just 3 games into his Cotuit career.
This is a guy who had a great season this past year at Louisiana Monroe. 54 games, batted .332, 68 hits. 10 of those left the ballpark, but also a guy who made a difference on the base paths, was able to swipe 18 bags and really did it all for Louisiana. And big reason as to why he's hit the transfer portal and is headed to Texas, as Jaden Davis is up with the throw into first to get Winfield for the second out of this second. But Winfield hoping to have a strong summer here and compete for a starting spot on what looks to be a incredibly strong Texas roster this upcoming season. Of course, we were talking a lot about yesterday this conference realignment and how it's impacting obviously the football schedules and things like that, but obviously we're going to be able to see some great baseball teams play against each other. Texas has had a couple of great years dominating the Big 12, along with Oklahoma, maybe not as dominant in the Big 12 as Texas has been, but to see them to be able to go up against Tennessee, Mississippi State, clubs like that, going to be really exciting. Easton Winfield clearly wants to be a part of that. But Timo Becerra is the batter, and it's now a 1-1 count to him. Becerra, a guy who's playing his baseball recently in the Pac-12 at Stanford. As he unloads on this one to shallow left center field, charging in is Johnson, and that will sink in for a base hit. Timo Becerra has the first hit of this ball game for the Kettleers with 2 gone in the second.
And it looks like Becerra just got that pitch off the end of his bat, flared it in the short center field, and just doing a good job falling behind in the count. Took that first pitch that was called a strike, but Becerra not trying to do too much with 2 outs, shortens up his approach, and picks up Cotuit's first hit.
So now Devin Taylor will have a chance in this second frame against Cox. And Taylor takes low and away. Taylor not getting the start in last night's contest, but was the leadoff man against Yarmouth Dennis on Monday night as Timo Becerra takes off on the pickoff attempt. Throw down to second is in time. They got him. So Timo Becerra caught sleeping at first. He makes the third out of this bottom of the second inning. So still a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Anglers, and they keep the Kettleers at bay. It's 2-0 as we send it to the top of the third frame. But before then, we'll check in for the first time with our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman, who has more.
Thanks, Joe and Alex. Let's talk about last night's game, especially Tanner Thatch bringing in that 6-5 win against Orleans with his home run in the 8th inning. Thatch is now sitting in the top 5 of the Cape Cod League with home runs, runs scored, and RBIs. And speaking with Coach after the game, he mentioned how Thatch has tweaked his hands in order to have better gameplay. Roberts said, quote, "I don't know that I've seen ever seen a more beautiful flight of a ball in the dark than I have tonight. And it's amazing to see how little changes will help these players in their overall game." Cotuit now sits at 16 wins, 9 losses, and 1 tie, and second in the West Division. And it'll be interesting, Joe and Alex, to see what other players can take advantage of those little changes Roberts makes that ultimately improve their game for the rest of their lives. Back to you, Joe and Alex.
Thanks, Adele. Great stuff as always, and more information on Tanner Thatch, who has continued to swing a piping hot bat. But Adele really talking about the minor adjustments that Mike Roberts has been making with Thatch, and it's clearly making a huge difference for him.
We've seen Mike Roberts do that with a multitude of players so far this summer. Tanner Thatch fixing up his hands. Grant Jay, another guy that Mike Roberts was really working on with early, and you started to see the results for Grant Jay. Had a pair of home runs early in the season. Yes, he has struggled as of late, but it's getting those adjustments, and that's really what summer ball is about. You're coming here and spending your summer day in, day out. You want to get better. You want to improve, and Mike Roberts has a boatload of knowledge on how to help players hit better, run the bases at a higher clip. So Mike Roberts and this whole entire Cotuit coaching staff really doing a good job of training these players.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I mean, you know that Roberts has talked a lot about his work with Grant Jay, how he's seemingly harder on Grant Jay than anybody else on this team. And he obviously said that he hopes that Grant Jay doesn't take it too harshly, but he appreciates the way that he comes in every single day and is willing to work. And clearly that's something that Jay has been working on, and we've really seen it come to fruition, especially defensively as a catcher. I mean, at the start of the year, there were a lot of balls that would get by him, and whether they would go down as pass balls or wild pitches, Grant Jay, you can definitely see him coming around as a defensive catcher. We knew the bat was always there. We knew the power was there, but Mike Roberts really working hard with him to become a stronger backstop. So we start off this top of the third inning. The batter is the leadoff man, Ty Johnson, who is all over that next pitch from Aiden Hunter and swats that 0-2 fastball into right field for a base hit, so he improves to 1 for 2. It'll be Ty Johnson's second hit of the summer, leading off this top of the third with a single.
Johnson fell behind on the count, 0-2 against Hunter. Threw 2 nice pitches, but Aiden Hunter just leaves a pitch right down the heart of the plate, and Johnson doesn't miss it with a hard line drive into right field.
Ball gets away from Tanner Thatch, pops straight up, but he's got it. Ty Johnson, a stolen base threat, plays a really solid center field. A guy who just recently joined this roster the other day. As the first pitch comes in from Aiden Hunter outside to Ashton Larson, he walked his first time up and then was quickly caught down in a double play ball. Worked by Tyler Cerny, and that's exactly what Aiden Hunter's trying to do here with that runner on first. Check back there again. Larson fouls that one off of home plate. Through 17 games so far as a .328 hitter, as Larson has 21 hits. For the Anglers, has also scored 10 runs. 5 of those going for extra bases. And was a very productive hitter this past season at Louisiana State in 53 games there, as he rattles that one foul off the Kettleers dugout and is behind in the count 1-2. But a .298 hitter this past season for the Tigers. Someone who was mainly a contact guy. 3 homers, but batting towards the bottom of that LSU lineup really made a difference in getting on base and doing a good job for the top half. As Johnson slides back in safely once more. The 1-2 is going to have to wait again. Another pickoff attempt, as nobody is warming up in the Kettleers bullpen just yet. Sometimes you'll see pitchers maybe throw to first a lot when a guy's warming up, just trying to buy him some time. But Aiden Hunter with this 1-2 count will come home, and it misses up and away. So Larson evens it up at 2-2. Paying a lot of attention to Ty Johnson at first base, who was able to snag 10 bags this past season at Baylor. Not a guy who took off very much at first, but reached base at a high clip of nearly 400. Takes a big secondary lead, as that one's off the bat of Larson towards the home grandstand and out of play. So he will continue to fight at 2-2. Larson, a good battle against Aiden Hunter, who went his season long with 3 2/3 innings pitched against Harwich his last time out. That was on Friday when Cotuit won that ball game 16-8, their second massive victory at White House Field this season. Winning the first one, it was 18-4 and then 16-8. As that one's tipped off of the glove of Grant Jay, and they'll do 2-2 once more. But Aiden Hunter, we were talking about earlier on in the broadcast, how he was able to lower his ERA continually as he went on about his college career, starting off his career at South Carolina. 5-5 his first year there with a 7.63 ERA, and a guy who really wasn't supposed to be used that much in the Gamecocks rotation, as another foul ball extends this at bat. but he threw the most innings out of the 4 arms who actually transferred out of South Carolina when he was there his first year. 2 of their other starters went down with surgery, so an opportunity for him opened up. Had a 7.63 ERA in 48 innings pitched, but that strikeout to walk ratio, as it has been since then, was immaculate, as this one is hammered towards deep right field. Another foul ball off the bat of Larson, who just continues to work this at bat at 2-2.
Larson continuing to see pitch after pitch after pitch. 4 consecutive foul balls, 8 pitches so far in this at-bat, and this is what you want to see from guys at the top of your order. Ty Johnson gets on with a leadoff single, and now Ashton Larson continues to run up Aiden Hunter's pitch count.
Hunter's pitch count nearing 50, as he'll send home another 2-2 pitch to Ashton Larson, has already walked today. Ty Johnson still the runner on first. There's nobody out. Johnson will take off. It's a hit and run as Larson puts it on the ground towards Advincula, and he fields it for out number 1. But Johnson moving up into scoring position with now 1 gone.
And a productive at-bat by Larson, continuing to work deep in accounts, fouling off a lot of tough pitches and moving the runner Ty Johnson in a scoring position.
So Aiden Hunter moving on from South Carolina in 2022 to the College of Charleston in 2023, where he made 26 appearances, 24 of them out of the bullpen, lowering that ERA from 7.6 down to 4.1. And of course, after that summer, made his first trip to the Village, pitching for the Kettleers last summer with a 2-0 record, 6 relief appearances, 2 of which came against the Chatham Anglers. Allowed 3 earned runs and 4 total innings pitched against Chatham. One being a 12-12 tie where the Kettleers and Anglers were going at it, much similarly to the way that the Red Sox and Kettleers were going at it on Monday night. And that game was called due to darkness, a 12-12 tie, and then the Anglers missing playoffs that season by just a couple of games. So you just wonder the difference that could have made in the Anglers' schedule. But Aiden Hunter was able to pitch 3 innings in that game, or excuse me, 1 inning in that game, but then another appearance a week later against Chatham where he pitched 3 scoreless. So got his revenge as he grounds that one to Advincula, who stabs at it and throws across his body. Boy, what a play there by Jaron Advincula to get the second out of this inning. Robin Villeneuve is retired for the 2nd time today, and that one nearly into center field for a base hit.
Villeneuve hit that right back up the middle. Jaron Advincula, who was shifted up the middle, stabs at that ball, goes into a slide, pops up, and makes the great throw in time to nab Villeneuve. And how many times have we seen Jaron Advincula make that play over there at second base?
Advincula playing just about as many games as anybody on this roster. And in that span, still no errors in the field. As the 0-1 pitch is on the outer edge to Chayton Krause, who homered his last at-bat just an inning ago to put the Anglers on the board, but now he's behind in the count 0-2. The runner is just 90 feet away in Ty Johnson, but Hunter trying to keep this a 2-0 score. Krause powers that one to straightaway center. Back goes Nathan Hall, and he will glove that for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down after Aiden Hunter allows the leadoff single to Ty Johnson. And the Anglers are still in control 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd here on the Ketts Digital Network.
Through the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast.
Cotuit trails by 2 as Devin Taylor will lead off the bottom of the 3rd inning. Chance Cox is back out there for another inning of work. It's been 6 up, 6 down for him. He did allow a walk, did allow a single, but a double play ball and then a pickoff to end the 1st and 2nd innings. Have only allowed 6 Kettleers to step up to the plate. Devin Taylor didn't even receive a pitch from him last inning. The first one is down the heart of the plate for strike 1. As there is a lot of activity going on in the Chatham bullpen down in the right field corner. Of course, it is the 3rd inning. Devin Taylor flares that one foul. It's 0-2. Well, we got to take a look at this right field bullpen, don't we? This is exactly what we saw the last time these two teams played, and has kind of become a sensation for this Anglers bullpen. 0-2 pitch to Taylor is hit hard on the ground towards second. Up with it is Davis. His throw draws Villeneuve nearly off the bag, but he's able to haul it down for the first out.
It's just really cool to see the roll call coming out from the Chatham bullpen. Definitely have seen this group bond, and when you're playing great baseball, you've won 5 straight. The vibes are high, and you can see that in the Anglers bullpen.
Could you understand what they're saying? I think well, it's obviously a roll call. I think the last one they were just saying was Johnson. They waited for him to turn around, give away a wave, and now someone else just did, and they'll move on to the next guy. Grant Jay is the batter. The 1-0 pitch to him, cracked down the left field line, and it twists just out of play. There we go, they got another one. Well, how cool would it be for Grant Jay to silence those guys in the right field bullpen right now?
See, that's actually a very funny story, and I'm glad that you brought that up because the Yankee fans do the same exact thing.
That's right.
The roll call, and during Derek Jeter's final game, they're cheering for Derek Jeter, and Baltimore, I forget who the hitter was, hits a home run right when they're cheering for Derek Jeter.
Now, do the Yankees still do it? Is that still a thing in Yankee Stadium?
They still do it.
Nice.
The bleacher creatures out in right center field.
2-1 pitch to Grant Jay. Just gets underneath this one and flares it towards straightaway center. Ty Johnson camps underneath it and pulls down the second out of this 3rd inning. 2 up, 2 down, and Chance Cox is cruising through his first rotation around this lineup.
Cox continues to get ahead of these hitters here and pouring in strikes, 31 pitches, 17 strikes through so far, and allowed just the 1 base hit to Timo Becerra that he just flared in a short center field. And Chance Cox has had command of all of his pitches so far. Looks dominant.
Advincula tips the first pitch he sees into the glove of Campbell Smithwick. Advincula just able to get a piece, and it seems like that's what the Kettleers bats have been doing so far today, as it hasn't been any strikeouts for Chance Cox to this point, just pitching to that weak contact. Advincula now rolls this one weakly on the ground towards Davis, who will barehand flip to first for the 3rd out. So 3 up, 3 down, 9 up, 9 down go the Kettleers against Chance Cox through the first rotation of the order. Still 2-0 as we played 3 from Lowell Park. Don't go anywhere on the Cats Digital Network.
The Cape Cod League All-Star Game is just a few weeks away. Cheer on your favorite Kettleers as they square off with some of the best players on the Cape. This year's game will be played in Falmouth on July 27th. The gates open up at 1:30 p.m. ahead of the 6 o'clock first pitch. All-Star Game tickets can be found at www.capecodleague.com/allstargame. Or you can find out more information about the tickets at the Kettleers store.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there. Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website.
The Cape Cod League All-Star Game is just a few weeks away. Cheer on your favorite.
Top of the 4th inning from Lowell Park. Cotuit playing from behind 2-0. And there you have a look at head coach Mike Roberts. Last night with their 6-5 win over Orleans, completing his 447th win as a Cape League manager. Of course, that's in the top 5 among CCBL managers all time. A couple of those names continuing on their Cape League manager journeys, and so he is still nipping at the heels of guys like Steve Englert, Jeff Trundy for Falmouth and for Yarmouth Dennis, but Mike Roberts well in the conversation of the winningest managers of all time in the CCBL, as the 0-1 pitch is speared at and missed by Bryce Roddy, who leads off this 4th inning. The designated hitter is out of North Greenville. Scored a run after reaching base last inning and is facing Aiden Hunter for the 2nd time. As the 0-2 pitch, he barely gets a piece, rattles it off the glove of Grant Jay, and stays alive at 0-2. Roddy getting his first start for the Anglers this season. Played in 1 game so far. He walked and was able to come around and score a run, but that is the 2nd strikeout of the day for Aiden Hunter as Roddy fans through that 0-2 pitch. And Aiden Hunter starts off this top of the 4th inning with a strikeout. There's 1 gone, an arm warming up in the left field bullpen.
This is a big inning for Aiden Hunter, who allowed the first guy to reach last inning, but started to really settle in, and now pouring in another first pitch strike. This is exactly what you want to see from Aiden Hunter.
Yeah, we mentioned it before he started off his 3rd start of the summer, saying how he's been a high strike thrower. As this one's flared into right field, Taylor charging in, and he will pull that down. The 2nd out of this 4th inning. So Jaden Davis, after the RBI double his last time up, goes back to 1 for 2 with that flyout. So the new batter is Kyle Lodise. He was the first strikeout victim of the day for Aiden Hunter, who dials in a first pitch fastball at the bottom of the zone. Hunter, looking for his first 3-up, 3-down inning against these Anglers so far today, as that one is rolled straight back up the middle. Diving is Tyler Cerny, but into center field it goes. A base knock for Kyle Lodise. And 4 straight innings now the Anglers have put a runner on base. So Aiden Hunter now matching his season-long in innings pitched at 3.2 and up to 62 pitches on the outing. You know, Mike Roberts likely doesn't want to have to go to his bullpen here in this 4th inning. So the last batter he'll have to get likely Will Bermudez.
It's similar to what we saw yesterday with Gabriel Nard, a guy who struggled early, gave up 2 runs in the 1st inning, but settled in nicely. And Hunter's worked in and out of trouble and just needs one more out to get out of this fourth.
And that's a good start right there with the curveball low and inside in the zone. Bermudez has to back up out of the way of it. So down in the count, 0-1 he goes. Bermudez grounding out to third his last time up. Big secondary lead there at first for Lodi, says it's a ball one. But we were talking about the long journey that Will Bermudez made from UC Davis to Mount San Antonio College, and then finishing up this spring his second year at UC Irvine. But faced a lot of adversity at the beginning of that college career as he flares this one into the left center field alleyway, going back on it Hall. As the runner from first charging around, Lodis will try and score from there. Throw comes in from Cerny. It's not in time, and it's a 3-1 ball game off the bat of Will Bermudez, who knocks an RBI double.
The speed from Kyle Lodis got the wave around third, and he had a full head of steam right there. Really saw it when he headed from second to third. Just a nice piece of hitting by Will Bermudez. Brandon Compton, the left fielder for the Kettleers, shifted right down the left field line and had a lot of green grass in that left center field alleyway, and Bermudez taking advantage and likely knocks out Aiden Hunter.
Yeah, Will Bermudez knocks his first double of the summer with the Anglers, first hit of the summer and first RBIs of this 2024 campaign. So the Anglers with a 3-0 lead. The Kettleers will go to the bullpen for the first time today in the midst of this fourth frame. Don't go anywhere from Lowell Park.
When you need to be seen for a minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
When you need to be...
The new pitcher into the ballgame for the Kettleers is a right-hander out of Virginia and making his return to the Village this summer after appearing in 8 games for Cotuit in the summer of 2023. It'll be Colin McKay, who just finished up his sophomore season at the University of Virginia, and always great to see another returner make his way back to Cotuit, Alex.
That it is, and Colin McKay adding a lot of depth to this pitching staff. And Joe, we talked about it a lot yesterday, but this Cotuit bullpen really going through a lot of changes. 6 pitchers go out, 6 pitchers come into the Village, and Colin McKay, a returner to this Kettleer squad, and excited to see what he brings and hopefully eats up some innings. Saw Lucas Perko do that really well in yesterday's win, eat up 2 1/3 innings pitched, and now McKay coming into a bit of a jam with Will Bermudez standing on second base. But if McKay can get a couple of outs here and get some momentum, send the Kettleers back up to the dish, and hopefully their lineup starts to turn things around.
Yeah, McKay was effective last summer in his 8 appearances, a 2.53 ERA, did finish a game, did start a game. Compiled a save, 10 2/3 innings pitched. He allowed 7 hits, just 3 earned runs. But one issue for him was working into difficult counts where he walked 7 batters and doesn't have the stuff that'll blow you away. Just 6 strikeouts amidst those nearly 11 innings pitched last summer for the Kets, and went on this past season at UVA to to strike out 39 in 33 innings pitched, where he had an 8.45 ERA. So here's Colin McKay for the first time in the summer of 2024. He'll be facing Campbell Smithwick with a runner on second. Starts him off with a pitch upstairs. Smithwick is 0 for 1. Flew out to straightaway center to end the bottom of the top of the second inning his last time up. One run is already across for the Anglers in this top of the fourth inning. An RBI double off the bat of Will Bermudez plated Kyle Lodis. So Bermudez takes a deep secondary lead at second as the next pitch misses inside. And it's a 2-0 count to Campbell Smithwick. Smithwick out of Ole Miss, playing in 27 games there this past season, a .253 hitter. As the 2-0 is upcoming and he fans at it and misses. Saw him exchange some pleasantries at the start of the game with Tanner Thatch. Those two growing up pretty close to one another down in South Carolina. He went to Conway High School from 2019 to 2021 before making the switch to Oxford High School in South Carolina for his final year as he loses the bat there. Is that towards the bat boy box? Looks like the bat's okay. Looks like everybody else is okay. Scary moment there.
It was right at Ty Johnson in the on-deck circle. Need to move out of the way, went right off the fence there as Smithwick just losing control of the bat.
And now, where's the pine tar? He found it. You know, most teams keep that in the on-deck circle. Ty Johnson will apply some to his bat after watching the 9 men in this order lose it nearly into the dugout. So Campbell Smithwick with some new reapplied pine tar to the center of his bat is ready to face this 2-2 count from Colin McKay. Take a look back at second, and he throws it into center field. Hall is charging in, and the runner Bermudez will move up 90 feet to third. So an unforced mistake there thrown by the newly inserted arm for the Kettleers. Ends up being the second error of this ball game for Cotuit. And now a runner is on third, as Cotuit is just one strike away from escaping this fourth inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3, so the error didn't matter as McKay makes up for it by fanning Campbell Smithwick for the first time today. So he picks up the strikeout to end the top of the fourth inning, not before Chatham was able to plate one more run off the RBI double from Will Bermudez. So they lead it 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Since 1980,
Kettleers down 3 as you have a look there at the Chatham dugout. Jeremy Scheedinger and his staff in his first year coaching the Chatham Anglers, and off to a pretty good start as we are talking about a bit earlier. but not the only first-year coach in this league for the CCBL. It's amazing to see the amount of tenured managers there are and then the amount of new managers there are. Of course, Jeff Trundy, the long-term manager in Falmouth, Scott Pickler, as we mentioned, and the new guys on this, or in this summer league. Sheetinger is one of them. Mitch Carricker in Hyannis, Ryan Smythe in his second year at Wareham, as that one's rolled on the ground by Tanner Thatch. Nobody's covering the first base bag, and he will get there to start off this bottom of the fourth. So it was a nice grab there by Robin Villeneuve, the first baseman, but he was just waiting for Chance Cox to make it to the first base bag. He wasn't there.
And Cox, the lefty, falling off toward the opposite side of the mound, a long run over to first base, and Tanner Thatch, who ran really hard out of the box, made it a tough play over there at first base, and Cox late to getting over to the bag, and Thatch picks up his first hit today.
So Thatch takes his short lead at first. Thatch reaching base for the second time today, continuing upon that on-base streak, but going into this game with a 7-game extra base hitting streak, as that one's hit towards Kraus. Throws to second for one, relayed to first is not in time, as Nathan Hall beats out the fielder's choice, attacking the first pitch he sees from Cox, and it results in the first out of this fourth inning.
The Kettleers have been super aggressive in the box. Cox, 35 pitches, 21 strikes so far through 3 1/3, and it's giving the Cotuit offense pitches to hit. They're just continuing to pound them straight into the ground.
So now it's Brandon Compton trying to extend this inning, knock his first base hit of this ball game. He rolled into a double play his last time up, and with the runner on first, they'll send Hall towards second base, and he'll get there easily. His 5th stolen bag of the summer. Already led with 4, and now back-to-back games with a stolen base for Nathan Hall, who moves into scoring position.
This is a big spot here for Brandon Compton, who we talked about a lot in his last at-bat, really swinging a hot bat. So now Nathan Hall moving up to second, getting rid of the double play chance for Brandon Compton here. This is a big spot with Cotuit struggling so far out of the gate offensively.
Compton watches another one go by. Yeah, in this season series through 2 games, even though the Kettleers have won one of them, have gone 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position and left 17 on base. None left on base so far in today's game. Big reason for that, a pickoff attempt and a double play to end the first 2 frames, as that one misses low and outside to Brandon Compton, who's in the driver's seat. Compton now batting at a .308 clip through his first 24 games this summer, has 24 base knocks. Three homers, but has not hit one since the 4th of July against Falmouth, but he'll accept a walk here and is headed to first. With 1 gone, the Kettleers will have runners on first and second for Tyler Cerny.
That was the second walk of the day for Chance Cox, and didn't give Compton anything he could drive, was attacking him on the outside corner. As now Tyler Cerny digs in, guy who's really struggling so far at the dish, but with 2 runners on, this is a spot that Cotuit needs to capitalize in.
Tyler Cerny's last hit coming against Harwich on Friday, as he gets all of this one. Deep left field, going back on it, Bermudez, and into the bullpen. Tyler Cerny has gone deep for the first time this summer. And just like that, the Kettleers tie up this ball game at 3-3.
That has to feel good for Tyler Cerny, a guy who's really been struggling so far at the dish. Was 1 for his last 21 or 22 with his first fly out earlier today, but just absolutely unloads on that to deep left field. And for a guy who hasn't flashed his power too much this summer, he crushed that.
Yeah, he did lead this team in doubles and was close a number of times from leaving the ballpark, but could not have come at a better moment for Tyler Cerny as he brings this game back to tie it. It's 3-3, and the Chatham offense seemingly taking control of this ball game. Cotuit was held silent through those first 3 innings. 9 men went up to the plate. They didn't leave anybody on base, only got 2 base runners. And then even one in this inning to start it off as Winfield rolls that one up the line towards Villeneuve. It's a race to the bag, and he dives and makes the play. Winfield thought he may have beat it out. Great hustle on both sides, and that's the second out of this 4th.
Robin Villeneuve dirtying up that jersey there. You can see the dirt all over his back there, but a heck of a play by the Chatham first baseman, fielding it in the race to the bag, going full extension to tap it for a critical second out.
Yeah, that's a huge out for Chance Cox and the Anglers if they allow these Kettleers to keep on hitting. We know the way that this offense has been so explosive at times. As Becerra pops that one up, straight back here, nearly into the booth. So close.
We had it.
So close. I mean, how many last night did we have hit right in front of the fence, like right there in front of us?
There had to have been at least 3 or 4, but this was coming in at the perfect angle, just needed it to be a little bit lower, and we could have had a play on it.
It would have split the defenders, too. That was right in between us. Would have taken some good communication. Had to call each other off. It's your ball, obviously.
Hey, we'll defer to it, but I appreciate me going for it.
Becerra fights that one off into center field. That sinks in for a base hit. He extends this 4th frame as it gets away from Johnson. He's trying to extend it to a double, and he does so. Becerra slides in safely with the head first dive into second, extending that single into a 2-bagger, and he improves to 2 for 2 on the day. What hustle there from Timo.
Those are the extra hustle plays that Mike Roberts talks about all the time. As the outfield in Chatham really just bobbled that ball. Didn't expect Timo Becerra to be ultra aggressive on the base paths, but noticed the ball getting away and Becerra motoring up to second base, and that play could be vital as Ty Johnson in center field struggled handling that ball. So Becerra moves up, and now a single into the outfield scores Becerra, and Cotuit takes a lead.
Time called by the catcher Smithwick. And that's the great piece of hitting that we've really seen from Timo Becerra in his small sample size this season. A guy who is just trying to get on base in any way that he can, but a guy who has now had 3 multi-hit games and just a couple of starts for the Kettleers. And that one, he gets it in off of his hands, breaks the bat, but is still able to work his way to second for a double. And how promising is that for Mike Roberts, because we know that the level of play that Nolan Naraki has been playing at is amazing, but to have another guy like Timo Becerra to be that depth piece on the infield, how huge is that to Mike Roberts?
It's massive, and we talked about it earlier with Nolan Naraki swinging a hot bat. Timo Becerra seeing a little bit more time on the bench, but he also can eat up valuable innings and play shortstop, with Tyler Cerny scuffling before, of course, he hits the game-tying 3-run home run. But Timo Becerra, just a guy that you could put in on that left side of the infield and know that he's going to make the plays defensively and swing a hot bat.
Becerra in his first start for the Kettleers against Bourne went 2 for 5 with a double, his first multi-hit game, and then after that went on a stretch where he was 0 for 8. And now Sheets will exit the Chatham dugout. We'll see if they go to the bullpen for the first time. But then he was able to snap that short cold streak against Bourne again. Timo going 1 for 3 against them, and then fell back in the lineup again. Wasn't able to get too many starts, but in his last 3 starts has been able to knock base hits in each of them, and now make it 4 in a row for Timo Becerra. Devin Taylor is the batter. He's 0 for 1 so far today with a walk. Timo Becerra stands on second, and with 2 outs in this bottom of the 4th inning, the Anglers will do exactly what the Kettleers did in the top of this inning. Go to the bullpen with a runner in scoring position, and now this score is tied at 3-3 thanks to the 3-run bomb off the bat of Tyler Cerny. Let's take a quick break from Lowell Park. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Cotuit Baseball here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas Bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas Bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored
We got a ball game from Lowell Park here in the bottom of the 4th inning as Tyler Cerny just powered his first homer of the summer into the Kettleers bullpen in left field to tie up this ball game at 3-3. After that, a ground out of Easton Winfield, and Timo Becerra was able to reach base on a double. So that took Chance Cox, the starter for Chatham, out of this ball game, making way for Tanner Franklin to make his 6th appearance of the summer for the Anglers. Has already appeared in 7 2/3 innings pitched, has allowed 8 runs. None of them were earned though. 6 hits, 8 walks, 12 strikeouts. So Tanner Franklin just finishing up his season at Kennesaw State. 43 strikeouts there in 27 1/3 innings, appearing in 21 games and had a 5.60 ERA. That high strikeout clip and promising future for the right-hander as he is headed to Tennessee this upcoming season. He comes set with Becerra leading at second. He's in scoring position after elevating his day to 2 for 2. First pitch to Devin Taylor misses low and away, and now that makes the count 2-1. So as a 1-1 count started off by Chance Cox. But since there are not 2 balls in this count, as I just found this out a few days ago, whatever happens is in this at-bat will go charged to Tanner Franklin. Of course, if the run came around to score, it would be charged to Chance Cox. But let's say let's say Devin Taylor strikes out or walks here. That ends up going to Tanner Franklin because Chance Cox did not throw enough pitches in that at-bat. So the minimum is throwing at least 2 balls and having at least a 2-1 count. But with a 1-1 count, Franklin trying to finish off Devin Taylor and goes up and away there with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball to push this count to full. And so there is another good reason as to why he is finding his place at Tennessee. The high-octane stuff, and now the umpiring crew, or at least 2 of them, will convene here. Any explanation as to what this is about? I think it could be a pitch clock conversation. They were talking about the count up on the scoreboard. So it's a 2-1 count to Devin Taylor. 3 pitches so far. Well, that is always important to know which pitchers are getting charged with the walk, with the strikeout. It did come up the other night. But this at-bat, obviously, all Tanner Franklin because he started it off against Devin Taylor. The 2-1 pitch. Gets underneath it, and it's 2-2.
Always good to educate people. was also something that I learned and didn't really know it. So,
well, it's something that comes up pretty much every single game, and at the time being, you maybe think that, let's say that the pitcher who starts the count started it off 1-0, 2-0. You'd think that the walk would automatically go to him, but it's actually based on the amount of pitches that he throws to the batter. But of course, none of that applies here. But Tanner Franklin, a rough go of it, as he has allowed 8 runs, but still has a 0 ERA. None of those have been earned. So it does end up being a full count anyway to Devin Taylor. Here's the payoff pitch. Taylor swats it foul.
Taylor doing a nice job staying alive there, seeing 6 pitches so far in this at-bat. And this is something that we've seen from Devin Taylor all year long, just working deep in accounts and fighting off tough pitches and never being an easy out.
Devin Taylor in his last 3 starts were at the leadoff spot, now batting in the 7th spot in the order today. The 3-2 once more from Franklin. Taylor takes a called strike 3 on the low and outside corner. He gets rung up by Glenn Stewart for the 3rd out of this bottom of the 4th inning. So Tanner Franklin is able to work his way out of that bottom of the 4th after Chance Cox started it off and gave up a 3-run bomb off the bat of Tyler Cerny. So a 3-3 score as we go to the top of the 5th frame. And Adele Huffman is joined alongside one of the Kettleers interns with more at field level. What do you have for us, Adele?
Thanks, Joe and Alex. I'm standing here with Hugh, who plays a critical part in our game day operations here at Cotuit. Hugh, can you walk us through your day-to-day jobs here at the field?
I get here early. I help set up the scoreboard, the radar gun, and some other things around the park. And then I sit around till game time and then sell some raffle tickets.
And Hugh, what's been your favorite part about interning in such a special place like Cotuit this summer?
I would definitely have to say the people here. It's unlike anywhere else I've ever been. I love the people. It's definitely like a Cotuit family.
And Hugh, I know you like baseball, but you're also a basketball guy. So 3v3, you can choose from interns and players. What's your team?
I'm going to have to go with my good friend Cam Jones, who's also game day. And then I think I'm going to have to go Joe Pratt. He might not be the best athlete in the world, but I think he'll get it done.
Joe, I think you're a great athlete, and we'll send it back up to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Hugh. I didn't expect to get that ricochet shot, but I'll take it.
Hey, you still made the team.
Yeah.
We talked about basketball a lot yesterday. Of course, Will Thompson, he's known for grabbing rebounds. So
yeah, that's true.
This could be might have to make this basketball game happen.
Well, I mean, Cam is a lethal three-point shooter. I've come to learn that. Hugh's a really solid basketball player. I don't really know what I bring to the team. Maybe morale. Maybe just
big locker room guy.
Yeah, locker room guy.
Always
so
there for the culture, the vibes.
Pre and post.
Yeah.
I'm in there. Interesting call. But always great to hear from one of the interns for the Kettleers, Hugh Greenfield, agreeing to get interviewed by Adele Huffman and get a chance to look into what some of the other people do around the ballpark here every single day. I mean, Hugh handles a lot of things, is here at the park usually before we are, setting up the field, setting up the pitch clock, setting up the gun. That's a big reason as to why we are able to enjoy the game and the fans are able to enjoy the game in the way that they are supposed to. And, of course, it's always great to be able to see a guy throwing upwards of 90, 97 miles an hour, as we saw from Tanner Franklin, to finish off that bottom of the 4th. But it's Cullen McKay back out there. Starting off this top of the lineup, Ty Johnson flares that foul, and it's a 1-1 count. I'd like to see Hugh on skates.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Talk about an athlete. As that one's rolled on the ground towards Advincula. And he makes the first out of this top of the 5th inning. Ty Johnson goes back to 1 for 3. So a single, ground out, and fly out for Ty Johnson. That's exactly the way that Cullen McKay would like to start off his first full inning of work. Entered into a bit of a tough situation, and that's kind of a theme that we've seen from Kettleers pitchers making their debut, at least in the 2024 campaign. Zach Duenas, Dylan Hawanitz entered in the game, both with runners in scoring position. Same thing there for Colin McKay, but is able to work his way out of that fourth inning and get some newfound run support from Tyler Cerny, who stands behind him at shortstop. Ashton Larson, now behind in the count 0-1, has reached on a walk, is also grounded out today. As the next pitch misses upstairs. So Colin McKay, another returner for this Kettleers team. With the Kettleers last summer, fashioning that 2.53 ERA. Did make one start for the Kettleers. It was against the Falmouth Commodores, and had a couple of scoreless appearances, his best one of the summer being against Orleans, where he went 3 1/3 innings, didn't give up any hits, struck out 1 and walked 2, but that ended up being a 6-5 loss for the Kets. Larson flips that foul, and it's 2-2 once more. But Colin McKay, in 2023 at Virginia, his freshman year, making 3 starts, 10 total appearances, had a 4.3 ERA. He struck out 22 batters in 14 2/3 innings pitched. Also made 3 starts. So a guy who's really done it all at summer ball and at the college level, as this one's rolled towards Tanner Thatch. He'll underhand flip to first to get Ashton Larson with the second out of this 5th frame. So despite working against the top of this Chatham lineup, McKay able to get the first 2 guys out on weak contact.
McKay doing a nice job pitching low in the zone and just having these Angler hitters pound these pitchers right into the ground. And McKay, a guy who's pitching to contact and has done that early on here with the Kettleers, and very promising in eating up innings just like we saw last night with Lucas Perko.
Yeah, you definitely want to have a guy come into the game and eat up innings, but in a way so that he's able to pitch to weak contact, not let that pitch count run up too much. And that's really exactly what we saw from Lucas Perko last night, who came into relief for Gabe Nard. Then he pitched a couple of innings after that, and along with his 5 strikeouts, which was a season high for Perko, drew plenty of weak contact and allowed just 2 hits, but both of those coming in his last inning of work. So retiring the first 8 batters he faced, but now a pause of play from the home plate umpire Glenn Stewart. It's a 2-0 count to Robin Villeneuve, who's headed from Tennessee to Texas Tech. He's 0 for 2. Ground out today in the first. That was a double play ball, and then another ground out to Advincula his next time up, as the 2-0 pitch misses low, and he is in the driver's seat 3-0. So the Kettleers in this season series really falling flat in opportune situations. Those are similar struggles to what Chatham has gone through in this series as well. 2 for 12. These bullpens doing a great job of holding base runners. But the last time we were here at Lowell Park, when these 2 teams squared off, Cotuit pitching after the 4th inning didn't give up a single hit. There was 2 outs in the 4th inning, gave up a single, and then after that, nobody was able to reach base for the Anglers. But in this 5th frame, Robin Villeneuve will reach on a walk. Colin McKay misses upstairs there, and with 2 gone, Chayton Cross will have his looks on McKay for the first time. But it was 16 up, 16 down to end that ball game for the Kettleers against the Anglers here at Lowell Park, the 4-1 win. A big part of that, James Ellwanger, who recently made his departure from this roster a couple of days ago, headed back to Dallas Baptist, and Michael Ebner finishing off the last 3 innings of that contest. So Chayton Krause is the batter. A home run back in the 2nd inning opened up the scoring for the Anglers. Kettleers have tied it up since then. The runner on first is Robin Villeneuve. And he pops this one up, twisting down the right field line, giving Chase Taylor towards the fence. He settles under it and just barely overruns it, as it looks like it maybe might have hit a few branches on the way down. But luckily for Taylor, that falls in foul territory, so it'll just be a 1-1 count to Krause.
Taylor ran a long way for that ball and settled up right near that green fence down the right field line and thought he had a beat on that ball, and I think it might have clipped a couple of branches on the way down, but Taylor just overrunning it, tried to reach back, but couldn't make the grab.
(1-1) and Kraus takes up high. As mentioned his last time at the plate, playing alongside Grant Jay at Dallas Baptist. He transferred in there after playing 2 seasons at Grayson College down in Texas. But a guy who played 60 games for the Patriots this past season, was a .358 hitter, combining for over 45 home runs with Grant Jay, 47 to be exact. Jay with 21, Kraus with 16, and his first of the summer. His first time up today in the second inning, but now sends this count to 2-2. McKay, trying to end his first full inning of work, is already through 1 frame. He comes set with the 2-2 pitch. Here it comes to Kraus. He hits this one into deep right field, sending Taylor back to the fence. He's looking up, and that ball is gone. A 2-run home run for Chayton Kraus, his second of the ball game, gives the Anglers a 5-3 lead.
Chayton Kraus flashed the power at DBU this past year with 16 home runs. That was blasted his second so far today, and first one was crushed deep to left field. Now he goes the opposite way here and just got a pitch that he could drive. Colin McKay was looking for one more pitch that he could put away Kraus, but left it right over the heart of the plate, and he makes no mistake.
That one 357 feet, was 99 miles an hour off of his bat. Just a rocket off the bat of Chayton Kraus for now his second homer of the season. No hits so far on the season for Kraus, but his first 2 leaving the yard. Mike Roberts is asking the home plate umpire to take an extra few seconds. He was asking why the Anglers dugout was completely vacated, as it looks like they had a little celebration go on down in the right field corner. Of course, it's tough to tell from our perspective, but they'll resume play with this 1-0 count to Roddy, and it's 1-1. It's a very active Chatham bullpen.
It was Chayton Kraus who ran all the way down that right field line, as the bullpen congratulated Kraus on blasting his second homer, and entire bullpen came out and celebrated with Kraus.
Rolled straight back up the middle to McKay. He gloves it and brings it to Tanner Thatch. So he's able to escape this top of the 5th inning. Chayton Kraus, though, was able to blast his second homer of this ball game, and the Anglers are now back in control. It's 5-3. And we'll send it to the bottom of the 5th inning, and when we come back, my broadcast partner Alex Rocco will take you home on the play-by-play from here on out. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Cotuit Baseball here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
1960s Crocker Family House in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit, or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover a treasure.
5-3 is your score here in the bottom of the fifth. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by Joe Pratt and Adele Huffman, as Tanner Franklin returns to the mound and gets set to square off against the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Chatham with a newfound 2-run advantage off of Chayton Krause's second home run that he's hit today. The Chatham third baseman, so far he's 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs, but now it's Grant Jay digging in for his second at-bat. He's 0 for 1, flew out to center field against the starter Chance Cox, who went 3 2/3. Allowing 4 hits, 3 runs all earned, walked 2 batters and did not strike out a Kettleer. So now it's the righty Franklin, who kicks and deals the first pitch to Jay. That one runs too far inside and plunks Jay on the elbow. So after 1 pitch, Grant Jay reaches after getting plunked.
Well, that's exactly what the Kettleers needed after tying up the ball game and then immediately giving up the lead in that top of the 5th inning. It was a base runner to start things off in that 4th frame, Tanner Thatch, and then he was caught at second on a fielder's choice, but Kettleers putting base runners on base, just trying to improve upon batting when they're in scoring position, and that's something that they've really struggled with in this season series against Chatham.
1-0 is the count against Advincula. The Anglers today 5 runs on 6 hits and an error. Cotuit 3 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors. Franklin, the righty, kicks and deals. The 1-0 pitch, a called strike, 92 miles an hour, looked at on the outside corner. That evens the count up at 1-1. Advincula yesterday in the win against Orleans, a perfect 4 for 4. It was the game-tying run on Tanner Thatch's go-ahead 2-run blast in that bottom of the 8th as Advincula lines the 1-1 pitch hard down the left field line and out of play.
So Advincula going 4 for 4 last night. At the time we were talking about how he went 3 for 4, but one of those plays on the infield where he reached on an error was then reversed, so he improves to 4 for 4 on the night last night against Orleans and moves that batting average up to 410.
Now sits at 405 after he's 0 for 1 today as the 1-2 pitch to him taken at the knees for a ball 2. Advincula grounded out to the second baseman Jaden Davis to end the bottom of the 3rd. Cotuit had just 1 hit through the first 3 innings. It was a single by Timo Becerra, but he was later picked off. Then they scored 3 runs on 3 hits last inning. The 3-run bomb by Tyler Cerny as Advincula grounds this one to 3rd. They got 1 at second. The relay throw, not in time. Advincula beats it out. Jaden Davis nearly picked up the double play, but Advincula reaches as there's 1 gone here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, that's just the difference when you have so many guys who can speed up that first base line like Advincula. You beat out a lot of plays at first, and it's exactly what happened to start off the last inning. Tanner Thatch was on first base, but Nathan Hall grounded to the third baseman. Pretty much the same exact play there, but Hall was able to beat it out and, of course, came around to score on Tyler Cerny's 3-run homer. So the Kettleers, even though that one ends up in a first out of this inning, the runner stays on first. They'll keep base runners on base any way they can get them, and it's always better to not be doubled up there.
So now that brings up Tanner Thatch. He's 1 for 1 today. Reached on a walk in his first at-bat and singled just an inning ago. The first pitch to him climbs the ladder, but Thatch waves on and misses. Thatch, of course, hitting the game-winning home run in last night's 6-5 win over Orleans, his 8th home run this year. As Advincula pickoff move back in. As Advincula getting too far off the bag. Franklin nearly had him.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see pitchers maybe sometimes throw a lot more of a competitive throw on the pickoff attempt towards first base. That one was just one to simply keep Advincula close, but they had him leaning towards that second base bag, so a sharper throw might have had him.
Advincula just 2 stolen bases this year as a high towering pop-up goes well foul down the left field line. It's the home grandstand here at Lowell Park. pretty filled. Fans in their lawn chairs down the left field line. Much more open grandstand behind the Chatham dugout on the first base side. As Franklin, before his 0-2 pitch to Thatch, another pickoff move, Advincula back in standing.
Yeah, definitely not as many people are here then. Maybe what we would have expected, but maybe it is a little bit to be expected because this was supposed to be an off day for the Kettleers and Anglers if that game on July 13th wasn't postponed due to rain. Of course, that would have been a Saturday game. It would have been the reunion, welcoming back the 1995 championship winning team back to Lowell Park for the first time in 30 years. But you can always catch up on what the Kettleers were able to do in celebrating that team by visiting the Cotuit website. Abigail Lott writing a great piece about that.
The 0-2 pitch swung on, and that'll get through into right field. Advincula moves up another 90 feet, but Tanner Thatch improves to 2 for 2 today after he picks up his second single.
Just another great piece of hitting from Tanner Thatch to the pole side again, but even though it's to the pole side, it doesn't have to be a home run. Is able to get on base by way of the single, and it's just a great day at the plate for Tanner Thatch. Even though he hasn't been able to leave the ballpark, he's 2 for 2, a walk and 2 singles, just really showcasing how he can make an impact on rosters and in starting lineups while not leaving the ballpark and while not going yards. So a great day and a promising day for Tanner Thatch, who continues his strong play and expands upon now that 8-game hitting streak.
So now that brings up Nathan Hull in a big spot. Runners on first and second. Just one gone as Hall swings at the first pitch. It's a towering pop-up in short center field. Coming on is Ty Johnson, who makes the grab for the second out. So Nathan Hall ultra aggressive, but skies one into short center field.
Well, that's the exact same thing Nathan Hall did as last time up, attacking the first pitch. The first one there was rolled on the ground towards third. That one he just barely gets underneath it, and it's flagged down by Ty Johnson. But for the Kettleers, they can't afford to leave too many runners on base in this inning, especially after giving up the lead again against Chatham, who has been able to work their way through this ball game off the back of the long ball and extra base hits, and that's likely what the Kettleers are going to need to do in response with Brandon Compton at the plate right here.
So after the flyout of Nathan Hall, he falls back to 0 for 3 today as the first pitch, a called strike to begin Brandon Compton's third at-bat today. So far he's 0 for 1, bouncing to a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play back in the bottom of the first. Also worked a walk in his last at-bat just an inning ago and came around to score on the 3-run home run by the man who stands in the on-deck circle, Tyler Cerny. Count even up at 1-1. That last pitch high to Compton. His average sitting at .304. Hit a double yesterday, a rocket right down the first base line. Picked up another 2 RBIs. He still sits in second with 18 RBIs. Tanner Thatch with 19. So the 1-1 pitch taken low and inside as Compton now up in the count 2-1. Heading into today, 8 for his last 14. 5 RBIs. Compton really just swinging a hot bat. The 2-1 pitch to the left fielder taken outside. 94 on the gun from Tanner Franklin.
Yeah, and Compton's a guy who just continued his strong play from Arizona State, where he hit .354 there in 52 games for the Sun Devils this season at a .661 slugging percentage, and he's done more of that here on the Cape, but mainly more of a contact hitter at the plate.
The 3-1 pitch, looked at, so that makes the count 3-2. With 2 outs here in this bottom of the 5th, Jaron Advincula stands on second. He reached on a fielder's choice. Tanner Thatch leads off first after his second single today. Franklin takes a look back at Advincula. Now kicks and deals the payoff pitch. Compton hits this one in the left field. Going back is Will Bermudez, leaping up and will make the grab for the third and final out of the inning as Tanner Franklin runs in and out of trouble but strands 2 runners on base as we head to the top of the 6th with Chatham leading Cotuit 5-3 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Jaden Davis set to dig in for his third at-bat here in the top of the sixth. The Anglers still leading the Kettleers 5-3 from another beautiful day at Lowell Park. Currently 82 degrees. Time is 6:48 local time, and this game being a makeup game. Game was originally supposed to be played on Saturday, July 13th, but gets pushed back 5 days, and once again, just another excellent day for baseball here in the village. As Cullen McKay returns to the mound, a high looping breaking ball taken for ball number 1 against Davis. Davis belted an RBI double in his first at-bat in the second inning and flew out to Devin Taylor in right field in the fourth. McKay, the righty, kicks and deals the 1-0. That's looked at right down the middle. That evens the count up at 1-1. The double from Davis was his 6th on the season, also his 9th RBI. As McKay deals the 1-1, that's looked at for strike 2, so Cullen McKay pulls ahead here. McKay got off to a hot start on the mound at UVA in his first 4 appearances, ate up 16.2 innings pitched, as the 1-2 fastball runs too far inside, nearly drills Davis. But the count is evened at 2-2. In those first 4 appearances, 16 2/3 innings pitched, allowed just 7 hits, 1 earned run that came on a home run, and struck out 20 hitters. As Davis stays alive, just chopping this one slowly down the third base line. Then in the last 9 appearances, the wheels started to fall off for McKay, went 16 1/3, allowed 26 hits, 30 earned runs, walked 20 hitters. That was the main difference, just 8 walks in his first 16 2/3 and 20 in the final 16 1/3 as he falls behind here as Davis lays off the high looping breaking ball. So he works the count full to begin the inning. McKay, his ERA in that last 9 appearances, 16.5 as he finished with an 8.45 ERA at UVA. The payoff pitch. Davis stays alive with another foul ball right in the on-deck circle down the third base line. Seven pitches so far in this at-bat against the Chatham second baseman. As the sun continues to set. The payoff pitch. Chopped on the ground to the shortstop, Cerny. Plays it on a hop. His throw in time to nab Davis. So after an 8-pitch at-bat, it ends in a ground out to the shortstop, Tyler Cerny.
Yeah, good battle there at the plate by Jaden Davis. Good job by Cullen McKay to hang in there and draw some weak contact. That's all he really needs to do here is rely on his defense and just let one pitch float over the heart of the plate, and Kraus punished it last inning, but other than that, it was weak contact all the way through.
Now it's Kyle Lodise. First pitch missed for ball 1. Lodise today 1 for 2. Struck out looking against Aiden Hunter, one of 2 strikeouts for the Kettleers starter. Singled in his last at-bat. As the 1-0 pitch, this one hit in the left center field gap. Running on, making the grab is Nathan Hall for the second out of the inning. So Cullen McKay getting weak contact here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, first flyout he's worked today against Kyle Lodis, who after that hard hit single in the 4th inning goes back to 1 for 3. But now it's Will Bermudez, who's another guy, or the only guy in this lineup, who's making his debut for the Anglers, but he's 1 for 2 with a roped double into the left center field gap his last time up.
Picked up an RBI on that hit, his first so far this summer. As McKay pulls ahead. 37 pitches so far, 21 strikes. For McKay, making his season debut with the Kettleers as a hard line drive. Goes straight back into the fence behind home plate. So Bermudez falls behind 0-2. McKay looking to pick up his second strikeout. Punched out Campbell Smithwick, the first batter he faced. The 0-2 pitch taken beneath the knees for ball 1. Bermudez this past year at UC Irvine hit .301, playing in 58 games. 4 home runs, 48 RBIs. As he stays alive here, fouls another pitch straight back. A lot of extra base hits, 12 doubles, 3 triples. And a tough hitter to put away. Walked 20 times, and Joe was hit by the pitch 25 times.
Incredible. You can see him pretty close to home plate. Closed off batting stance, but a smaller guy up there who is still able to wear a lot of pitches.
Bermudez got on base at a high clip. 420 on base percentage. As the 2-2 from McKay got him swinging. Curveball in the dirt. Chased that and missed by Will Bermudez as Cullen McKay comes in, picks up his second strikeout so far today and works a 1-2-3. Top of the 6th as we head to the bottom half of the inning with Chatham leading Cotuit 5-3 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
And lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Cape Cod Coffee.
Tanner Franklin returns to the mound for his second full inning of work. So far, he's gone an inning and a third, struck out a batter, tossing 23 pitches, 14 strikes. So now he gets set to face Tyler Cerny, who broke out of his slump in a massive way, launched a game-tying 3-run home run. Even the score up at 3 in the bottom of the 4th, but that was quickly responded back by Chatham with a 2-run bomb by Chayton Krause. Krause 2 for 3 with 2 home runs, but standing in again is Tyler Cerny, getting ready to face off against Tanner Franklin, who ran into a bit of trouble last inning, had runners on first and second, but got a fly out of Nathan Hall and of Brandon Compton to work out of the jam. His first pitch to Cerny taken low in the dirt for ball one. Cerny now up to 1 home run, 5 RBIs so far this summer. It's the 1-0 pitch looked at for a called strike one. Cerny playing in his 22nd game as a Kettleer. Hitting 195 so far as the 1-1 pitch to the Kettleer shortstop, hit on the ground to Kraus at third. Fields on the backhand, his throw in time to nab Cerny for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, tough play for Kraus there at third, but able to make it look routine. So that'll be the first out of this inning. Of course, Franklin trying to work a quick bottom half of this 6th, but there is an arm warming up in the Chatham bullpen in right field, and also another right-hander warming up for the Kets in left. Looks like that's Dylan Hawanitz, and appearing to get ready to make his second appearance of the summer.
Both teams have used just 2 pitchers so far. Chance Cox and Tanner Franklin for Chatham, Aiden Hunter, Cullen McKay for Cotuit. As here is Easton Winfield. Want to know is the count on Winfield, who's the DH today. Winfield currently 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. Waves at a pitch low and inside to even the count up at 1-1. Winfield, an ultra-productive day. A few days ago against YD, went 3 for 4 with 3 singles. Also picked up 2 runs in that game. As the 1-1 pitch, a high twisting foul ball that gets out of play down the left field line. So Franklin pulls ahead of the Cotuit designated hitter. The count is 1-2. And that's something, Joe, that we've seen from Tanner Franklin, throwing first pitch strikes and getting ahead of these Kettleers hitters.
Yeah, and I think that really gets him into a situation where he's able to throw the pitches that he wants, but it also gives him some confidence against the first few batters that he was able to face in this ball game. Of course, dotting a strike 3 call on Devin Taylor to start off his outing is a pretty good way to start, but he responded really well after hitting Grant J with the pitch to lead off that 5th inning, drawing some weak contact on the infield and into the outfield to complete that frame. But now it's a 3-person conversation here between the umpire, catcher, and pitcher. It looks like Franklin is rubbing something on that throwing hand. It could just be the rosin bag, but looks like it is, but unsure what that conversation was about. Ahead in the count, 1-2 on Easton Winfield. So it's interesting. A lot of times you'll see a catcher maybe trot out there to talk to a pitcher who's maybe thrown 4 or 5 balls in a row. But with a 1-2 count, they must just be looking for that finishing pitch on Easton Winfield. Had to get a couple extra opinions, and here we go.
There still is an arm warming up for Chatham in their bullpen as the 1-2 pitch taken low and outside for ball 2. Franklin working out of the windup. Kicks and deals the 2-2 pitch. Taken for ball 3. That counts full. 95 on the gun there from Tanner Franklin. Righty throwing some heat out of the Chatham bullpen. But Winfield works the count full here, looking for his first hit today. Currently 0 for 2 after 2 groundouts. The payoff pitch on the way. Winfield pops this one straight over our heads and over the press box. Hits into the parking lot. Winfield transferring after his first campaign at Louisiana Monroe, hit .332 in 54 games. I will play at Texas. Franklin pauses, kicks and deals the payoff pitch. Got him swinging. Easton Winfield goes down on strikes as he is the second strikeout of the day for Tanner Franklin and the second out here in this bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, now 14 strikeouts on the season for Tanner Franklin. As coming into this ball game had a 0 ERA through his first 7 2/3 innings pitched, and now is just an out away from completing over 2 innings in this ball game. But now Jeremy Scheedinger is out of the Chatham dugout, the pitching coach for Chatham that is actually, but they will go to the bullpen with 2 outs in this 6th inning. So it'll be 2 complete innings for Tanner Franklin. And he continues on his strong prowess on the mound. Again, does not allow any earned runs, allows just 1 hit and hit a batter, but that was the extent of it.
So with Chatham
Kettleers as they square off with some of the best players on the Cape. This year's game will be played in Falmouth on July 27th. The
Proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Cape Cod Coffee.
Tanner Franklin goes 2 innings, allows just 1 hit, doesn't allow any runs, and strikes out 2 batters. While tossing at 33 pitches, 20 strikes, and he gives way to Augie Mojica, who comes into the game with 2 outs here in this bottom of the 6th, squaring off against Timo Becerra.
Yeah, first appearance of the summer for Augie Mojica. Just finished up his season at San Jacinto Junior College, but making his way to the Chatham Anglers this summer. Does have a little bit of summer ball experience, having a .63 ERA in the Northwoods League last summer. Or excuse me, that was actually this summer, but making his way to this Anglers roster in late July.
Mojica's first pitch looked at for a called strike 1 against Becerra. Timo getting the nod at third base today. He's 2 for 2. Was picked off in his first at-bat as Mojica pours in another strike at 91 on the gun as Becerra falls behind on the count 0-2. Becerra's batting average all the way up to 243 came into the day, hitting at a 200 clip. Chops this one hard down the third base line, and that'll get through into left field. Becerra rounding first, he will head for second. The relay throw not in time as Becerra slides in safely as he picks up his 3rd hit of the day. He's now 3 for 3 with 2 singles and a double.
Well, that one roped just past the outstretched arms of Kraus at third base, down that left field line, and as soon as it hit the grass, it just died. So the left fielder Bermudez had to run a long way to get that baseball, and Becerra, with the speed that he showcased the last time he was up, extending that single into a double, is able to knock his 2nd straight double and improves to 3 for 3.
Now that brings up Devin Taylor in a big spot here. 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Taylor 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. Mojica takes a look back, kicks and deals the first pitch. Taken low and outside, 92 miles an hour on the fastball. Cotuit today hitting just 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. They've left 3 on. Mojica, the righty, takes a look back at Becerra, who continues to advance, and his lead comes home with the 1-0, nearly clips Taylor. Mojica at San Jacinto had a 2-1 record, 4.3 ERA and 46 innings pitched. Also picked up 3 saves. Started 3 games as Taylor hard line drive on the 2-0 pitch down the left field line. Struck out 57 hitters in those 46 innings.
Yeah, that's more of what he did this season at Kenosha in the Northwoods League. 20 strikeouts and just over 14 innings pitched. He allowed only 1 earned run. So pretty incredible, and is well deserving for a spot on this rotation for the Anglers.
Mojica looking to strand Becerra, who leads off second after his 2-out double. The 2-1 pitch, high looping off-speed pitch that Taylor thought about swinging. Lays off, but it's called strike 2 regardless. So Mojica evens the count at 2-2. Chatham still leads Cotuit 5-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. Both teams with 6 hits. As Mojica kicks and deals that pitch inside, Smithwick doesn't know where it is. Becerra moves up 90 feet to third base. That was a pitch that Smithwick got crossed up on. It was set up on the outside corner, then it runs inside. Nearly hits Taylor. But
yeah, and Becerra's able to move up 90 feet because it hit the right foot of the umpire. So it takes a funny hop from our perspective to the left, away from the left-handed swinging Devin Taylor, but Timo Becerra with heads-up base running, no hesitation at all, is able to advance 90 feet. So another pitch like that there from Mojica, and he's able to score.
The first wild pitch for Augie Mojica. The count is full with 2 outs. Becerra stands just 90 feet away. As the righty comes set, kicks and deals the payoff pitch. Taylor hits this one on the ground to the first baseman, Villeneuve, and that ball eats him up, gets into right field. Coming in to score is Timo Becerra as Devin Taylor reaches, as it's another fielding miscue for the Anglers as that ball just ate up the first baseman, Robin Villeneuve.
Yeah, that one there, Villeneuve had to make a decision as if he wanted to play back on it, if he wanted to charge up on it. Does decide to wait on it, and it takes a couple of funny hops, catapults just over his glove hand, and that one gets by him. We'll see how they end up ruling that one. But of course, it makes that wild pitch that much more important because Becerra is able to score easily from third, and the Kettleers are within 1.
So it is an error as Grant Jay crushes this one deep to left field. If it's fair, it's gone, but Jay hooks it just foul. Jumped on the first pitch from Augie Mojica, crushed it to deep left field, but it's just a long foul ball.
Jeez, and what great timing that would have been for Grant Jay. I mean, to catapult the Kettleers in front 6-5 in this ball game, just as they did last night against Orleans, but he's just got to find a way to straighten it out.
Pickoff move, Taylor back in standing. Would have been the second home run of the day for Cotuit. Tyler Cerny hit a 3-run bomb back in the bottom of the 4th. As Taylor with his lead off first, Mojica peers in, gets the sign from Smithwick, now steps off.
Yeah, I just wanted to reset the clock there. It was trickling down below 5 seconds.
Another pickoff move, Taylor back in standing. Grant Jay has struggled as of late so far today. He's 0 for 1. Flew out to center field, also was hit by a pitch. But came into today with 30 strikeouts so far through 19 games as the 1-1 pitch. Another foul ball down the right field line. Has flashed the power, though, out of his 9 base hits. 5 have gone for extra bases, 2 doubles and 3 homers. .42 home runs over 2 seasons at DBU. For the Kettleers catcher, as Mojica kicks and deals. This one low in the dirt, goes between the legs of Smithwick. Advancing up to second is Taylor. So it's another wild pitch for Augie Mojica. And the Kettleers have a runner in scoring position still with 2 gone.
Yeah, well, now if you're Grant Shea, just got to do anything you can to make contact with the baseball. Trying to put it in play. Anything that sinks in for a hit in the outfield likely scores Devin Taylor there from second to tie up this ball game. And how huge would that be for Grant Shea to bring himself out of this cold stretch?
Mojica takes a look back at Taylor. His 1-2 pitch got him swinging. So Grant Shea goes down on strikes as Mojica picks up his first strikeout, but not before the Kettleers cut the deficit to 5-4 after Timo Becerra comes in to score after the fielding error by the first baseman, Robin Villeneuve. Now we'll send it down to field level with Adele Huffman, who has more about the Cotuit Kettleers.
Thanks, Joe and Alex, and we can't leave tonight without talking about somebody who led to our success last night, Bryson Parrish, finishing things up on the mound for us last night. Something so cool about him is that Coach had actually never seen him pitch or any of his statistics, but he's such a nice guy. Coach said, let's put him out there and see what he's got, and it did not disappoint the Cotuit fans. Parrish finished things out on the mound, and another thing that Roberts has said is key in players this summer ball season is that they have self-motivation and they really want to be here, and it is clear that Parrish really wants to be here, as he's told interns that summer ball has been some of the best days of his life, and he just is excited to go out there and play and have fun every day. So it's awesome to see what he did last night on the mound and continue to see what he has for us this summer. Back to you, Joe and Alex.
Excellent work once again, Adele. Thank you so much. And saw the Kettleers get a lot of contributions from their bullpen, but Bryson Parrish, one of those guys that came in to close out the game, picked up the win, went an inning and a third. As Orleans did make it interesting, Parrish did allow 4 hits, but got 2 vital strikeouts to close out the 16th victory of Cotuit's season so far, but in a tight battle here as they currently trail the Anglers 5-4. Now we're joined alongside Jimmy Middleton. Jimmy back on the broadcast once again as Cotuit makes a pitching change. They bring in the righty Dylan Hawanitz for his second outing as he relieves Cullen McKay, who goes 2 1/3, allows just 1 hit, 2 runs both earned, walked a batter and struck out 2. But Hawanitz coming into the game, and Jimmy, I know you're someone who very close with Hawanitz, so always cool to see him out on the mound.
Yeah, it's super cool, you know. Dewey and I both go, or Dewey used to go to Westchester. I currently go to Westchester, but now he's moving on to better baseball, going on to the ACC, playing with Boston College. But it's good to see him up here. Good to see him pitch. So hopefully a little bit better than last time, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it was just such a tough situation for him to come into. Had a runner on third base, no outs in the inning, and a 1-0 count to R.J. Austin, and had to face the rest of the heart of the YD lineup, which is likely the best one in the league. So he ran into a lot of trouble there and brought home 3 earned runs that would be charged to him, but he has a second chance here with the bases all cleaned off in this 7th inning.
I would argue that YD lineup is the best lineup in the Cape League.
Hawanitz came in, faced R.J. Austin, Anthony Martinez, and Ethan Petrie. Not 3 hitters that you'd like to face in your Cape League debut, as he falls behind the 9-hitter Campbell Smithwick, who's 0 for 2 today, struck out in his last at-bat. So Hawanitz looking for a bounce-back second outing as his 1-0 pitch, high-looping off-speed pitch that's taken for ball 2.
Yeah, this year at Westchester, Dewey was definitely guy number 1A for the Westchester bullpen. You know, if we play 4 games on a weekend, so most of the times he made 4 appearances every single weekend.
And what is Hawanitz's skill set? What pitches does he throw? What's his repertoire looking like?
It's more of a fastball, slider, changeup mix. You know, as you guys can see, it's way down low, 3/4 slot, submarine, but really just kind of fastball, slider mostly, and a little bit of a changeup as well.
So it's a leadoff walk by Campbell Smithwick. He reaches for the first time today as we head back to the top of the Chatham order with Ty Johnson. Wanitz also took a hard line drive off of his foot in that game, stayed in the game. As he went an inning, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, walked 2, and struck out a batter, throwing 39 pitches in the lone inning. And the 8-8 tie against YD is heading out to the mound now is Grant J to talk things over with Howanitz. Battery that has yet to work together so far and making sure they're on the same page.
99 miles an hour off the foot. That can't feel good. That cannot feel good.
No, definitely not. And I mean, just a rocket that went off of his foot, and he got up immediately though, and that's exactly what you want to see, to have that effort. And you could just let your second baseman pick up that baseball, but he still was up and sprinting towards the baseline halfway in between first and second, and then he kind of started to walk with a limp, so he was kind of working through some of that pain initially. But now a bit of a delayed mound visit here from Mike Roberts, and we'll see what the decision is.
So Grant J went out to the mound to talk to Dylan Howanitz, then Mike Roberts made the slow trek out to the mound.
Well, it looks like we're waiting on a pitcher, and now he's walking down the left field line. Had some gate trouble down there. But just one batter faced. It was Campbell Smithwick was able to work the walk, and now Howanitz looks like his day will be done.
So Dylan Howanitz comes into the game, throws just 4 pitches, all 4 were balls as he works the 4-pitch walk against Campbell Smithwick as Mike Roberts now goes to his bullpen, bringing on the 4th pitcher of the day for Cotuit. We'll have more on the new arm after this commercial break here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
For a minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
When you
Welcome back to Lowell Park. Luis Misla, the new arm, replacing Dylan Howanitz. And now we have another edition of Catch Trivia presented by the Cotuit Library. This 2004 Kettleer won the Team MVP award before being drafted by the Padres in the second round of the 2005 MLB draft. The corner infielder and outfielder would go on to play over 1,400 MLB games for the Padres and Yankees. So if you think you know the answer, to this edition of Kettleers Trivia. Drop your answer in the comments on YouTube. As the next offering by Miesla goes all the way back to the backstop, moving up to second is Campbell Smithwick. Actually, the first pitch in the at-bat against Ty Johnson, so a lefty-lefty matchup here. As Dylan Hawanitz comes into the game, throws just 4 pitches. Walks Campbell Smithwick, and Mike Roberts goes to his bullpen once again as Jimmy Middleton still with us here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Good to be here. Awesome to be here.
This is the first time we have ever seen this. They are all huddling up right in front of the Chatham on deck circle.
Do you think they're going to run shark halfback wheel or a Madden play?
HB mesh?
I don't know. It looks like
or HB wheel, sorry.
A halfback slip screen.
Yeah.
Maybe PA dagger. I'm unsure of what's going on here, but you know.
Could be some crossing routes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to run the Philly special. Who knows?
T formation, these might be all things that are being discussed.
Yeah. Do you think Chatham is a ground and pound football team or more of an air raid offense?
Given that some nights you can't really see there, I'm guessing ground and pound.
Okay.
See, I was going to go air raid. Have an
Yeah.
explosive offense today.
Yeah.
You've seen Chayton Krause leave the yard twice. A lot of extra base hits for this team as going small ball here with Johnson. Tries to lay down the bunt and pulls back.
Just trying to pound the rock.
So you might be right. Small ball, pounding the rock here. Might be a more run-oriented team.
If you had to compare the Kets defense to an NFL defense or offense, where would you go with that?
We're talking current offenses, not like all-time offenses and defenses.
We can go all-time defensive offenses.
I have no
More than
idea.
happy to go that way.
Zero clue.
Miesla takes a look back at Smithwick, comes home with the 2-1 pitch. Fouled back, so the count is even at 2-2.
You know, I'm going to go with...
I'm curious to hear your answer.
Yeah.
You know, it's a typical answer. I'm going to go with 2015 Seattle Seahawks Legion of Boom defense. That's where I'm going with this answer.
The 2-2 pitch line back, and that'll drop down in front of Nathan Hall in center field. So Ty Johnson picks up his second hit as the relay throw cut off by Tanner Thatch. As Chatham now has runners on the corner, still with no out in the top of the 7th.
Good day for Ty Johnson. He's now 2 for 4. Going into this ball game, was kind of struggling through his first couple of games. Only appeared in 2 for Chatham, both as the leadoff man. But his first multi-hit game was just 1 for 5, or 1 for 9, excuse me, going into this one. But now 2 for 4, and that's exactly what you want from your leadoff man, to be able to put the ball in play and get on base at a high clip.
Another lefty-lefty matchup here as Ashton Larson takes the first pitch low and inside for ball 1.
I mean, if you get on, not to quote Moneyball ball, but if you get on base, you're more likely to score runs. Shout out Brad Pitt for that.
And Jonah Hill.
Can't forget Jonah Hill.
Yeah. That's on me. I shouldn't have forgot that. I have to be better there. Shout out to that A's ball club, though. That was a, you know, I don't know if I was alive when that happened. I probably was.
I think we were.
We definitely
very
were.
young.
Very young.
Yeah.
Wasn't watching baseball as much then. But, man, what a time to be an A's fan. As Mr. misses away when a 2-1 count.
The third appearance for Luis Miesla so far this summer, a 32.4 ERA. High looping breaking ball looked at for strike 2 that evens the count up at 2-2. Miesla so far has gone an inning and 2/3, allowed 6 hits, 6 runs, given up 1 homer, walked 2, and struck out 3. Runners on the corner, still no out. The payoff pitch to Larson got him swinging. Luis Miesla with a big first out as Ashton Larson going down on strikes as he now falls back to 0 for 3.
Back-to-back front door sliders from Miesla there. Just did not look comfortable in that at bat in those two pitches. You know, he kind of did a little bit of an awkward swing on that last pitch, so that was very good sequencing right there from Misla.
I mean, how much does it show about his stuff that even though he threw that pitch, the one right before it, and then he's still able to get that kind of a swing out of Villeneuve in the finishing one, I guess I should say.
Can you pitch your batter, please?
But back-to-back sliders, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. What does it mean about the stuff of Luis Misla that he's able to get such an awkward swing on the second one that he sees in that at-bat?
I think that just means his stuff is particularly good, and especially in a lefty-lefty matchup, you're trying to throw anything away from that barrel. So just doubling up on that, making sure it breaks away from the hitter, and if anything, he's going to hit it to the left side of the field to maybe the 6-5 hole. And it's going to be weak contact. So that's especially important, especially when you have a first and third situation with the infield in, down a run in the 7th.
Kettleers bring their infield in. Now they have a runner caught in a rundown. It is Ty Johnson. Dancing off third is Campbell Smithwick. Putting the tag on Ty Johnson is Jaron Advincula. So great speed by Advincula to slap the tag on Johnson as he was hung out to dry. Staying put on third is Campbell Smithwick. An excellent pickoff move there by Luis Misla. That's him the second out.
All right, but now back to the football offenses. Where do we think the Cotuit football offense?
So I think if this offense is firing 1 through 9, as the 1-1 pitch, take in for strike 2, but this offense firing 1 through 9, it could be that LSU offense, 2019 LSU.
Wow.
That's such a great pull. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
A lot of talent in this Cotuit offense. That was an explosive LSU offense. Guys like Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. Curveball taken in the dirt, kept in front by Jay. As Smithwick stays put at third.
Who would be your Joe Burrow?
It has to be offensively, right? It has to be on the offensive side. All right.
I mean, we can go pitching.
Basically just who's the centerpiece, who's the guy who's
Joe
the
Cool?
offense revolves around him. I would say Tanner Thatch.
Misla gets Villeneuve on strike, so he picks up back-to-back strikeouts after working into jam. Campbell Smithwick worked a walk against Dylan Hawanitz, and then Luis Misla comes into the game, gets a strikeout of Ashton Larson, gives up a single to Ty Johnson, but he was later picked off, and then fans Robin Villeneuve for the third and final out, as we now head to the bottom of the 7th here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Cape Cod.
9-1-2 set to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th as Augie Mojica returns to the mound, gets set to square off against Jaron Advincula, Tanner Thatch, and Nathan Hall. Is Jimmy Middleton sticking with us? Going back to if the Kettleers were a football team, what the offense would be, of course, coming in the spirit of College Football 25 being released earlier this week as Jaron Advincula swings at the first pitch and fouls that just to our left. Back into the parking lot.
You went with 2019 LSU AR.
I did.
On that team was Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Justin Jefferson. There's a lot of comparisons to the Cotuit Kettleers there.
There is. I think my Clyde Edwards-Helaire just fell behind in the count 0-2. So Jaron Advincula, 0 for 2 today, but just a guy that was undervalued on that LSU team, really provided the ground and pound threat as the 0-2 pitch line foul down the third base line.
You know, speaking of ground and pound, that's kind of what Jaron does at the plate. He's not going to beat you power wise. He's not going to beat you with shooting the gaps. It's put the ball on the ground, let the wheels work, and so that comparison to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I would say, would be a pretty good one right there.
Setting the table to go to the passing game, go to the guy where the offense really revolves around him. So naturally, Tanner Thatch in the on-deck circle.
I'm going to agree with you, Joe. Tanner Thatch, my Joe Burrow, the catalyst of Cotuit's offense when they've needed a big hit. Tanner Thatch has been the guy. He's 2 for 2 today as Mojica's 1-2 offering popped down the left field line. Bermuda is charging in and gloving it for the first out as Advincula falls back to 0 for 3 today as Tanner Thatch digging in for his 4th plate appearance.
Well, the thing is that Joe Burrow was no slouch on the run either. Like, he could get you a first down if he needed to. So even with Jaron getting out there, don't have that bottom of the order set on the table, Tanner Thatch is more than capable of getting the job done here. With a meeting on the mound with Chatham, I would expect for them to go to a lefty for that lefty-lefty matchup. But would Mike Roberts change it? Would he go to substitution, go to the bench? It's to be seen.
I don't know. A guy who's tearing the cover off the ball the way Thatch is. I mean, he's going into this ball game was 12 of his last 26 plate appearances, and make that now 14 of his last 28. So a 500 clip. He is riding a 7-game extra base hitting streak. So it looks like he will stay in, though, as the Anglers will bring a righty into this game. But righties is something that Tanner Thatch has killed so far this season. I know when he's able to get something low and inside that he can pull to his power alley in right field.
Pull side fly balls. That has just been really something Tanner Thatch has taken advantage of this summer. So it would be interesting to see, if I was the manager of Chatham, I do not think I would let Tanner see a right-handed pitcher here at all. But, maybe they know something I don't. That's why I'm an intern and they're on the field being managers.
So with Chatham going to its bullpen, as Augie Mojica's day is done, we will step aside for a quick commercial break here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Back at Lowell Park, Xavier Richards is the new arm for the Chatham Anglers, and we talked about it earlier. Another edition of Catch Trivia. This 2004 Kettleer won the team MVP award before being drafted by the Padres in the second round of the 2005 MLB draft. The corner infielder and outfielder would go on to play over 1,400 games for the Padres and Yankees. Joe, do you have a guess?
I think
you
Joe
might.
made it, so
Joe,
he might
yeah.
know the answer.
So, Jimmy, do you know it?
I don't know it, but I'm more than willing to take a shot in the dark here. And I'm going to go with Tommy Troy. He's not in the major leagues yet.
No, he has not played 1,400 games in the majors yet.
I don't have it. I'm out.
Tommy Troy was a good guess, but the correct answer was Chase Headley. So if you got it right, good on you. You know a Cotuit baseball legend.
That is your guess for everything, though. It doesn't matter if he played here in 1999, 1971. That's your guess for every single trivia, Tommy Troy.
Thatch hits this one in right field. Coming on is Ashton Larson. So Thatch is retired for the first time today. Was 2 for 2, but now falls back to 2 for 3 as Xavier Richards comes in and gets the long fly ball against Thatch.
I mean, Joe, we've spent a lot of time at Lowell Park.
Yep.
I don't think there is a better debut game than Tommy Troy had here.
Definitely not. And one guy who was able to call that game is here today, too, Jake Starr. Or I guess the guy to call that extra inning game. Yes, the man. Dare we say the myth?
Dare we say the legend?
Now we're getting crazy. Nathan Hall fouled that first pitch down the first baseline. The count is 0-1. Hall today 0 for 3. Did reach on a fielder's choice, also swiped his team-leading 5th stolen base, and came around to score off the 3-run home run by Tyler Cerny. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball that Hall thought about swinging, lays off, and the count evens up at 1-1. Jake, of course, was on the broadcast yesterday, talked with Adele Huffman, giving great insight as the AA broadcaster for the Reading Fightin' Phils.
You Penn State guys love that left chair right there, man.
Happens.
Love that left chair. Something in the water.
Great minds think alike, maybe.
Nathan Hall would be my Justin Jefferson, by the way. Just throwing it out there. He would be my Justin Jefferson.
See, I was between him or Brandon Compton. The other one could be Jamar Chase as Nathan Hall grounds that straight back up the middle. That'll get through into center field. So Hall picks up his first hit today as Cotuit has a runner on base with 2 gone.
Was there a really good tight end on that team?
Thaddeus Moss.
Son of Randy Moss.
I feel like Brandon Compton could pass as a tight end.
A little bit, kind of a smaller end tight end, maybe.
Yeah.
Like.
But in terms of baseball players,
Yeah.
as far as ball players go.
Like a Zach Ertz tight end type of guy.
Laporta with Detroit.
The first pitch to Compton looked at for strike 1.
Austin Hooper with the Falcons.
Maybe a Kyle Juszczyk fullback conversation.
If we switch to fullbacks.
The pickoff move from Richards gets away. Hall advances to second. Thought about heading for third, but he puts on the brakes as it's an errant pickoff move by Xavier Richards. Gets behind Robin Villeneuve.
You know, Nathan Hall with the base hit. He just got 1 catch for 10 yards, and now he's got a second catch on the day for 5 yards. He's moving the chains and just working his way into scoring position for Compton as we need to run. We need to run really bad.
Yeah, and he's down in the count 0-1. I mean, we've seen him hunt for some pitches when he gets ahead in the count, so these next couple pitches here from Richards are going to be super important.
He's just going to have to battle.
Yep.
So Compton behind in the count, but now has a runner in scoring position. Cotuit trailing Chatham 5-4 here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 are gone in the inning as Richards takes a long look back, kicks and deals. This one gets away from Smithwick. Advancing up to third is Hall. So Nathan Hall just 90 feet away and represents the tying run.
I mean, no hesitation at second. I think he was running to third before that ball even hit the dirt. I mean, he was all over that third base bag.
That was a great DBR, dirt ball read. You know, That ball barely skips by the catcher. It doesn't skip by, just skips over to the right, and Nathan Hall just on an instant, right, that ball's in the dirt, he's gone, and it made it so that there's no throw over to third base at all either.
Yeah, and even with the lefty at the plate too. Just tells you how great of a read that was. But now the home plate umpire, Glenn Stewart, writing something down on his notepad before the pitching coach goes and has a word with Xavier Richards.
Nathan Hall, that would be another catch. Now we're at 3rd and 5 right now. Maybe 3rd and 4. Gonna get the chain gang out there to see where we're at.
Nathan Hall advancing to second off the error by Xavier Richards, then the wild pitch. Slowly moving the ball down the field.
Ground and pound offense. That 2019 LSU team was not ground and pound offense.
It was not.
But, you know.
No.
It's however you want to see it.
Yeah.
But back to fullbacks. Brandon Compton, I would say, could be Ravens fullback, Ravens legend, Patrick Ricard.
Yep.
That's who I was
I
was thinking of it and could not name Patrick Ricard. It's a good pull.
Many years of fantasy football has paid off for this moment.
Third base. Yes, he's the right.
Count even at 1-1 to Brandon Compton.
Take center.
Hit a 2 RBI double yesterday. Falls behind in the count 1-2 after Xavier Richards blows a 92-mile-an-hour fastball by him. So Richards just one strike away of stranding Nathan Hall just 90 feet away from tying this game.
2-minute warning.
Richards, glove set at the belt, kicks and deals. Compton, a hard line drive straight back into the fence behind home plate. So he stays alive here.
You guys also up in the booth here came dangerously close to a foul ball. Like, how was that experience?
We did. It was the bunt attempt by Timo Becerra that just came right at us. Both getting ready to make that play. The 1-2. Another foul ball goes off the leg of Compton.
No, that's not. What do they think? Smithwick thought that the inning was over, but that one clearly hitting the front leg of Brandon Compton. Maybe he thought if he was confident enough, headed back to the dugout, maybe that would be the third out. But the at-bat continues. It was very close, though. Becerra bunting that ball straight back, and you knew it right off the bat, too, that it could just barely be enough to get over the fence. But I guess that myth has been busted that it would take the perfect trajectory for it to get in here.
So the 1-2 on the way to Compton. Another foul ball right at the base of the Chatham dugout on the first base line. So 3 consecutive foul balls from Brandon Compton.
We're just using our timeouts here.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of them we got because this is football, baseball, but we're just using our timeouts.
The 1-2 pitch to Compton. Taken well high and outside. That evens the count up at 2-2.
Well, Chatham getting away with one last inning with a runner in scoring position. And the would-be go-ahead run at the plate, Grant Jay, who put one that would have been a home run just to the left of the left field foul pole. Let's see if the Kettleers can capitalize once more here.
The 2-2 to Compton. Line drive into center field, and that'll dunk down in front of Ty Johnson. Coming in to score is Nathan Hall. Brandon Compton, stay hot. He ties the game up at 5 on his first hit of the day.
Guys, we just scored with no time on the clock. We're going into OT.
Still got a chance, though. Looks like we got the ball.
We got the ball
Tyler
first.
Cerny's at the plate already with his first home run of the season. Back in the 4th inning. Cotuit with a chance to keep things going.
It was just a matter of time before Cerny got a hold of a ball.
Cerny swings at the first pitch, hits this one into the left center field gap, but on the run is Will Bermudez as that ball just hung up in plenty of time as Bermudez camps underneath it for the 3rd and final out of the inning, but not before Cotuit ties this game up at 5 after the RBI single from Brandon Compton, scoring Nathan Hall as we head to the top of the 8th from Lowell Park. Cotuit and Chatham even at 5. Don't go anywhere here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor.
The Lowell Park faithful got something to cheer for after Brandon Compton's RBI single scored Nathan Hall to even the score up at 5 as we are set to begin the top of the 8th here on the Kettleers Digital Network. I'm Alec Trocco, joined alongside by Joe Pratt and Jimmy Middleton. So this game has really gotten close. Cotuit was trailing 5-3, scored a run in the 6th and one in the 7th to even the score at 5. Now it's Luis Misla facing Chayton Kraus for the first time today.
And with the umpires meeting in between innings, you gotta wonder. It seems like Chatham's got the ball first in OT, and we gotta hold him here. And then we gotta go score.
The 1-0 offering high looping breaking ball taken outside for ball 2.
Yeah, just got to rely on the D here. Don't try to do too much. Don't need to rush the QB and just play solid defense. Keep everything in front of you.
Misla falls behind on the count 3-0.
We honestly could go into the prevent defense, but no one likes a team that plays prevent defense, so
No.
We're just gonna go at these guys.
Misla looking to go out and attack Kraus here. As the 3-0 pitch, breaking ball looked at for a called strike 1, and Kraus has been a thorn in the side of the Kettleers today. 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. His first 2 home runs of the summer, hit 16 this past year at DBU. Misla's 3-1 pitch, chopped foul down the third base line, and he works back from 3-0 to 3-2, and now you're seeing the aggressive style of this Kettleers defense.
Yes. Now, with Kraus being a DBU guy and with Jay behind the plate being a DBU guy, you have to wonder, does Jay kind of have a little bit of insider trading information on, like, how can we beat Kraus? How can we get out of him?
The 3-2 pitch, breaking ball taken high and outside, so Chayton Kraus reaches for the 3rd time today as he works a walk to begin the inning.
Honestly, probably a pretty smart idea. He has 2 homers today, so it's probably the better chance. But they just got a first down. They're inside the 10. We like playing with our back against the wall.
And that's one there where Misla throws 3 straight breaking balls with a 3-0 count. I mean, just to have the level of confidence in that pitch, and that's the guy you want out there right now who can throw strikes at a high rate with a couple of different pitches.
Just very much leaning on that breaking ball. I would expect to be a heavy dose of breaking ball in this lefty-lefty matchup here.
Bryce Roddy puts down the bunt. Misla fielding, goes with the backhand, makes the underhand flip in time. So Bryce Roddy down on the sacrifice bunt. Moving up to second is Kraus. So 1 are gone here in this top of the 8th, and now that brings up Jaden Davis.
Well, more on what you were just talking about, Jimmy. This umpiring crew huddling up down the third base line after the conclusion of the 7th inning. That must mean that they think that they can play this top of the 8th and the bottom of the 8th, but that might change here with Mike Roberts headed out to the mound.
And that play right there, that fielded bunt by Misla is going to go. It's going to go under the radar no matter what. That's a play where he's going off to his left, and it's also going into the Bermuda Triangle between second, first, and the pitcher's mound. And it barely just got in his glove. It would have squeaked under, and the Chatham would have had runners on first and second. But Misla making a great play. Honestly, probably could have just ran it over to first base himself, but Flips that ball over to Thatch. Now we have one out, guy on second as the Cats make a move to the pen today.
So Cotuit calling on its fifth reliever as Luis Misla's day is over. So we'll have more on the new arm after this commercial break here on the Cats Digital Network.
Of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasick, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasick Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasick Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasick Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasick Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasick, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasick Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasick Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasick Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free comb on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Willow Bend has been regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow Bend.
Five, 6, and 7 due up for Cotuit here in this bottom of the 8th on a beautiful night for baseball from Lowell Park. As it continues to get dark here, just hit 8 o'clock from the Village as Xavier Richards squaring off against Easton Winfield. The first pitch to him, flared in the left center field gap. That'll split the outfielders as Ty Johnson gets on his high horse, tracks the ball down, but not before Easton Winfield steamrolls into second with a leadoff double.
We got the first down. We're on the 10 in OT.
That's a chunk play to start it off.
We're not giving the ball. We physically cannot give the ball back due to sunlight not being present.
Yep.
We're just not getting the ball back as Timo Becerra comes up to the plate for the Cats with a man on second.
You just have to love that approach, though. I mean, have to assume that he's going up there thinking that he's going to take a big hack at the first pitch and is able to connect on it, putting it towards the flagpole in left center. Just no better place to put it for Winfield except for out of the ballpark. So just
putting
a massive way to start it off.
That has light too.
Yeah,
that scoreboard in left center field.
It's true.
Now that brings up Timo Becerra, who's had an excellent day at the dish. Becerra squares around a bunt but pulls back as the first offering well high. Becerra 3 for 3. Singled in his first 2 at-bats and doubled and later came around to score. in that 6th inning. As Chatham bring it the infield in. Winfield being held on by the shortstop Lodis. Becerra squares around, but pulls back. As Richards can't find the zone, the count is 2-0.
All right, this is a little bit big of a moment, but if Becerra gets this bunt down here, I would call him the center because he's just setting the table for the offense. He's getting that runner 90 feet away, getting that runner five yards away from the end zone.
Richards takes a look back at Winfield to come home with the 2-0. That's looked at for strike one, 92 on the fastball from Xavier Richards. He's thrown 20 pitches, 13 strikes so far, has gone 2/3 of an inning with 1 strikeout. He now comes set, glances back at second. Now come home, Becerra bunting again, pulls back, but it's called strike 2. And how vital is it here for Becerra to make sure he gets the runner Winfield over to third?
Well, if you can, you got to figure out a way to put it to the opposite way, whether it be on the ground, in the air, just any way that you can get the guy to third base is what Becerra's trying to do here.
Becerra attempting the bunt now pulls back as the count is full. So Becerra bunting with 2 strikes.
What do you think of that?
All right, call me crazy. I think he's just showing bunt to throw so the Chatham pitcher throws a ball. He has only thrown a strike when he knows Becerra isn't swinging and isn't trying to lay down a bunt. So I guess we'll find it on this payoff pitch here, but that's my take.
The 3-2 from Richards. Becerra attempting the bunt, pulls back, and he works a walk. So Becerra reaches again. He's reached in all 4 plate appearances as Xavier Walk issues his first free pass of the day. As now there's runners on first and second and no outs.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, though.
Do you take the ball out of the Team USA man, Devin Taylor? Take the bat out of his hands?
No. I don't think they will, but first and second, nobody out. I mean, this is a prime bunt situation, and we know Mike Roberts loves to lay down the bunts, so we'll see what he does.
The first pitch, Taylor is bunting. Attempts the bunt. He goes around. So the count is 0-1. Both runners scamper back to the bag. So looks to be your answer. Devin Taylor is attempting to move the runners into scoring position. Where Cotuit's been 3 for 5 in that category today as they've left 5 guys on base. They have 5 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors. Chatham, 5 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. As Taylor swinging away, lofting that high and foul down the left field line. So Richards gets ahead of Taylor here, 0-2. Taylor 1 for 3. Also has an RBI. Winfield leads off second, Becerra off first. Richards comes home with the 0-2 pitch. Taylor hits that one down into center field. Johnson will cut it off. Coming in to score is Winfield. Getting the wave around third is Becerra. He will put on the brakes and retreat back to the bag. But it's a go-ahead. RBI double by Devin Taylor. And the comeback Kets have done it again as they now take a 6-5 lead.
You just were never taking the bat out of Devin Taylor's hands. You know, he's too good of a baseball player, too good of a hitter to take the bat out of his hands and not give him the chance to put the Kets up and put them ahead. So, honestly, that's a bad decision on my part. I have to be better.
2 doubles for Cotuit so far in the inning. Easton Winfield led off the inning with a double. Timo Becerra reached on a walk, and Devin Taylor smacks his first double of the season. As now Mike Roberts will bring on a pinch hitter. It's Matt Klein coming in for Grant J.
And all Klein has to do here is work the count. Him, Advincula, everybody else in this lineup.
Klein swings at the first pitch, hits this one into left field. And that'll get down foul. Will Bermudez gave it a run, but that ball drops for a long foul ball off the bat of Matt Klein. Grant J, he was 0 for 2, reached once on a hit by pitch.
Honestly, that ball hit by Klein, they're in foul territory. That's a ball that you don't catch that no matter what. Yeah. That left fielder running over to his left, having to make a throw on the run because you would have to imagine Becerra runs there, try to push the issue, get the Cats an even bigger lead, but that's a ball that you make a play on and make it look like you're going for it, but that you just let it drop.
Chatham brings the infield in. The 0-1 pitch, high looping breaking ball looked at for strike 2 against Klein. Klein has been one of the hottest hitters in this Kettleer lineup, hitting .350. He's had multiple clutch base hits over the last few games. But he falls behind in the count 0-2. Becerra leads off third, Taylor off second. The 0-2 from Richards. Klein stays alive, chops that one right behind home plate.
Well, I mean, he really just needs to work this count because they still need to get 3 outs in this inning. Chatham still needs an opportunity at the plate in the top of the 9th inning, and if this inning continues to take much longer, then they probably don't have a chance at finishing. And good for the Kettleers as they have some of their best guys who can work the count coming up to bat after Matt Klein, starting with Klein and, of course, Taylor right before him, but Advincula and Thatch right after that. Those are 2 guys who can work the count just as good as anybody in this entire lineup. So the Kettleers are in a good place right now.
We're getting back to our Clyde Edwards-Hilaire and Joe Burrow. We're getting back to them.
Yep.
It would be 8-9-1 for Chatham in the top of the 9th as Richards kicks and deals another foul ball by Klein. So staying alive, doing all that he can to keep fighting and fouling off more pitches. 5 pitches so far in this at-bat as Richards' pitch count continues to rise. 31 pitches, 22 strikes. Has gotten 2 outs and allowed 2 runs. The 0-2 once more to Klein. This one in on his hands, grounds that to the first baseman, Villeneuve, who will take it to the bag, goes into a slide, and Klein is retired for the first out as staying put on the base pass is Becerra and Taylor.
You know, Klein there just working that count, working that darkness, you know. It's an advantage. It's a home field advantage. That's something that not a lot of teams have in the Cape here. And so, I mean, if it's getting dark and you have a lead, why not use it to your advantage and try to get that win by way of light.
Cotuit 16-9-1 so far this summer. As now here is Jaron Advincula. Looks at a first pitch taken outside and continues to get darker and darker here above Lowell Park. Saw this last night. Mike Roberts was adamant that the game was only going 8 innings. They pushed it for a 9th against Orleans. Cotuit winning that game also with the same score as this pitch gets away from the catcher Smithwick. Coming in to score is Timo Becerra. So it's another wild pitch by the Chatham pitching staff as Cotuit capitalizes as they now take a 7-5 lead.
Didn't need too great of a read there. That one missing everything, going back to the fence, and Timo Becerra scores easily. So Chatham, they've worked themselves into a difficult situation where their defense has to make some plays, and when you put runners in scoring position like that, there's no margin for error as a catcher. And for Smithwick, has had to work really hard back there today, but in these last couple innings has let a few squeeze by.
The 2-0-2 Advincula taken high and away. 4-3. Advincula today 0 for 3, coming off of his 4 for 4 performance yesterday against Orleans. Taylor dancing off third. The 3-0 pitch taken beneath the knees as Sharon Advincula works a 4-pitch walk. And Cotuit has runners on the corners as they lead 7-5, still with 1 gone.
In my previous time on this broadcast, I have definitely been quoted saying that this is one of the biggest backstops in the Cape League, and it just proves fruitful again, you know, especially with it just having a fence back there, you know. At fields like YD, Bourne, you have brick back there, and if the ball skips back, it might get a little bit of a hop off that brick. But with the fence, that ball is just going to hit the fence and die. So if that ball skips behind the catcher and there's a guy on third, it's basically a guaranteed run, honestly.
Runners on the corners. The first pitch to Tanner Thatch. 91-mile-an-hour fastball taken outside for ball 1. Thatch today continuing new crush Cape League pitchers. 2 for 3. Also reached on a walk. As the 1-0 pitch to the Kettleer first baseman taken for ball 2. Thatch, of course, with the game-winning home run last night. That was his 8th homer, 19th RBI. Brandon Compton now ties him for the team lead in RBIs. as the 2-0 pitch to Thatch taken once again. So Richards falls behind Tanner Thatch 3-0.
Just don't let Joe Burrow get ahead in the count. All the teams on that 2019 LSU warpath got to feel that.
Taylor leads off third, Advincula off second. Thatch was trying to crush home run number 9, but comes up with nothing but air as the count goes to 3-1.
That's what we would call in the village a cheat swing. Just letting it rip, trying to put a ball into the cemetery behind Lowell Park.
The 3-1 on the way from Xavier Richards. Thatch lines this one hard, and that'll get down into right field. Coming in to score is Devin Taylor as Tanner Thatch picks up an RBI single. The Kettleers lead 8-5 on Tanner Thatch's third single today.
And his 9th RBI in the last 7 games as he just continues his strong play at the plate, improving to 3 for 4 at the plate today. And just an unbelievable day for Tanner Thatch, who's made a home for himself in the leadoff spot. But we'll see if that could be the end of this ball game, and it is.
So Tanner Thatch gave Cotuit the 3-run advantage, but just like that, this game is called, and Cotuit picks up the 8-5 victory over the Chatham Anglers and improved to 17-9-1. And Joe, another comeback victory for Cotuit. This is something that really isn't starting to get any new.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, in the last now 11 days, the Kettleers have pulled off 4 comeback victories, 2 of which right here at Lowell Park in back-to-back games where they've done so. And you asked me about it in the pregame show before this game, Alex. How is this team able to rely on their offense late in games, even if their bullpen has kind of fallen flat in recent games? It's their resiliency at the plate, their ability to work counts, their ability to get on base, but not only when you're getting on base, the speed of this team is causing so many problems for a lot of infields around the Cape League, and the Kettleers are exploiting that, and they did a great job of it tonight, picking up their 17th win.
You know, it's gonna be my last football reference before I have to go empty out the trash around Lowell Park, but they let Joe Burrow get the ball. You just should never let Joe Burrow get the ball.
Nope.
And with that, I leave you guys. It's been a great time. Thank you for having me, but I'll let you guys wrap up this game.
It's been a blast. Thank you so much to Jimmy Middleton hopping on this call and really making the Cotuit Kettleers into a football team as well. Always great to talk to you, Jimmy. So thank you so much for that. Is another big victory for Cotuit, and really didn't start off that way. They trailed 2-0 after 2. They trailed 3-0 heading into that bottom of the third. But, Joe, it was a massive home run by Tyler Cerny, not just in distance, but for confidence for the Kettleer shortstop.
Yeah, I mean, it does 2 things for this team. It woke up their offense as they were pretty much silenced through those first 3 innings, and then 3 runs for Chatham. They had all the momentum in that ball game, but hey, we were talking a lot about football today. Football is obviously a game of momentum that can change in the snap of your fingers, and that's exactly what happened with Tyler Cerny's 3-run bomb tonight to make it a 3-3 ball game. You just kind of had a feeling that this would be a good one and a close game until the end, but Chatham responded really well, scoring 2 runs in the top of that 5th frame. But for Tyler Cerny, I mean, a guy who has really, it's tough to say that he's struggled at the plate, because when you look at the box score, when you look at the statistics, he really has. But when you're at the games watching the ABs that he's putting in, this is what we've seen from Tyler Cerny all season long. He's been putting a charge into baseballs. He's been hitting them to the deepest part of ballparks, and they've been scorching off of his bat at times. So for him to finally break through and get a meaningful home run as that, I mean, it's just amazing. And you go down the lineup and see another guy who maybe struggled at the plate a little bit today. I know Devin Taylor was awarded with a single after reaching on what was originally called an error in the 6th. So going into that 3rd at-bat, 1 for 3, 0 for 3, whatever you might call it. But it's a day for Devin Taylor that you really don't see from him often. So for him to also break through with that RBI double, you can't keep a hot bat like that silenced for the entire game. And needless to say, the Kettleers exploded for some runs late in this ball game to win it 6-5, 8-5, I should say.
And what does it say for this Kettleers offense that actually we'll now send it down to field level with Adele Huffman, who's joined alongside by head coach Mike Roberts.
What? I wrote. Oh, good to go? Oh, really?
Okay. So I was just down here asking Coach about the Hey Cotuit song. So I guess you can tell me on the broadcast. You wrote this, correct, Coach?
I wrote most of the lyrics, yes. And then
found Michael O'Connell and his brother Ryan, who Ryan's actually written music for Michael Bublé and some people in Hollywood. Ryan's still out there now. And Michael was doing his PhD at NC State. And anyway, I met him through my church. And I said, look, we want to do something similar to Go Cubs Go, because I was working for the Cubs at the time. And I said, okay, I'm going to write some lyrics. You guys can clean it up and then put the music to it, and this is what we've got. And I'll have to say, they need the credit for it. But where I have the most fun with it is at the library every Tuesday morning with about 25, 30, 40 babies and 3-year-olds and we dance to it every Tuesday morning at the library. But I think our guys like it pretty well too.
Well, Coach, it definitely brings some smiles to our faces. And, Coach, tonight with Tyler Cerny's breakthrough home run and then that last inning with Devin Taylor's hit, what are your thoughts on tonight's game?
As I told them, I said, guys, it's just you continue to amaze me with the team effort. I mean, we're putting pitching out there that I knew Cullen McKay, but he hadn't pitched in like 3 months. And then, again, you're putting Luis Misla out there, Division III guy who came in just to throw one game in preseason. And we loved him, absolutely loved him. And we begged him to come back. And he drove home to Tampa, and then he came back. And then Zach finished off the game. It's just been a team effort, and I don't sleep every night because I have no idea who's pitching. C's on the mound tomorrow night. I've never seen him, but was recommended to me by Vic Black, the Pirates rehab coordinators, so I know he'll battle like crazy. So are we having a lot of fun? Yeah, we're enjoying it. Am I sleeping any? No.
Well, Coach, we have a big game coming up tomorrow against Wareham. #1 in the West Division. We're standing at #2. What's the key to tomorrow night's success?
Oh, I just look at all 40 games the same way. And, we just come out and throw extra BP, and we do the same thing every day. And honestly, I tell the guys, don't even pay attention what's on the front of the uniform. We all put our pants on the same way, so just go play and do the best we can every night. And this group is, as Cam Schulke said when he left yesterday, he said, Coach, I've been here 3 years, and I've loved every minute of it. He said, but this may be the closest knit club that I've been on.
That is amazing to hear, Coach. And speaking of bonds, Brooks Baldwin just got the call up a few hours back. How proud of him are you right now?
Oh, gosh, I've shed tears when I heard it. He's family to me, and he was here 2 years, and I literally begged scouts. I said, this guy's going to play in the big leagues. He ought to be a second, third rounder. He deserves a little bit more money. And he went 15th round the first year, so obviously they didn't listen. And he went 12th round the second year. Obviously they didn't listen. But I'm thrilled. I'm just thrilled. What a great young man, humble. He played 7 positions while he was here. 7. And he played them all really well. Switch hitter, beautiful from both sides, best base runner in the league. If he would have stayed his second year here, he would have been MVP of the Cape League, but he went home to sign. So we are all thrilled. His father played in the Atlantic Coast Conference when I coached at UNC. He was actually the most valuable player in the Atlantic Coast Conference at Clemson. So I know him well also, but we're just so excited for him. And anybody who met him would love Brooks Baldwin, because what a humble baseball player. But I want also people to know that he didn't pass the analytics test. He passed the backyard baseball player test, and he still made it to the big leagues.
It's so good to see a player who is truly just a good person make it so far, and congratulations on the win again tonight, Coach. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, 5 p.m. at home against the Wareham Gatemen. It'll be the #1 and #2 in the West Division, head-to-head. This has been Adele Huffman at Lowell Park. We'll see you tomorrow, Cotuit family.
Thanks so much, Adele. Excellent work once again, joined alongside by head coach Mike Roberts. And always great to see Mike Roberts get emotional about former players and just showing how much he cares about his team. And also one note that Cam Schulke said, and I thought was really important. Yeah. He's been in the Village for the past 3 years. He said this team was the closest knit team that they've had. And, Joe, you could see that in these games as Cotuit trailing 5-3. They score 5 unanswered. And my final question to you is, how do they harness this momentum today and continue playing as one team for the rest of the season?
Well, first of all, the first thing you mentioned there, I mean, I think you can see it with the way that these guys react to each other having success, the way that they're having fun at practice each and every day. They're having fun at the field, interacting with us, interacting with all the fans, and it seems like they are truly having fun and having fun together. And so that's something that's really good to see. And as far as tomorrow's game, you want to just go into it and hopefully get a hotter start offensively. The bullpen has been a little bit shaky at times in the past couple games, but doing a nice job in the last 3 innings tonight, 6, 7, and 8, holding the Anglers scoreless, and I think that's going to be the key tomorrow is the second half pitching. The bullpen in the second half of that game is going to be super important because in each of the games they've played against the Gatemen so far this year, Alex, at least one of the teams, whether it was Cotuit, whether it was Wareham, whoever was in the lead, put the tying and go-ahead runs on base in the last inning of that ball game and were able to get some runs. And so I think late inning offense for the Kettleers as well as holding the Gatemen to late inning lack of offense, I guess is the way to put that, is going to be super important in trying to capture the 18th win tomorrow for the Kettleers.
Should be an exciting matchup tomorrow. Both teams coming into that game with a 17-9-1 record. But that'll do it from Lowell Park. For my broadcast partner, Joe Pratt. For our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman. For our production crew of Cam Christie and Abigail Lott, I'm Alex Rocco. Thank you so much for spending part of your Thursday evening with us. Cotuit is victorious over Chatham as they capture the 8-5 victory. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here.